Hello and welcome to the Top Corner Podcast Live, your weekly roundup of all the news from European football from around the world. It's a jam-packed episode today, and joining me, as always, we don't have Rowan this week, unfortunately, don't we, guys? He's not here.
No.
Unfortunately not. But
There's an empty seat in his...
there is, which if we get the cameras up,
It's missing.
there we go. There's that seat just specifically there.
Oh,
He's in with us.
We've got to
in
have a minute's
spirit.
silence for him.
he is there in spirit.
But joining me, as always, in the studio, we've got the two Kierans, Kieran L and Kieran D. How are we doing, guys?
It's alright.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Just makes it easier now, doesn't it? We're with
Yeah.
Rowan and Kieran's.
It makes makes life so much easier. I always say this at the beginning of the episode. Should we just get straight into it?
I mean, yeah.
Let's go for it. I think the first talking points of the day, I've put down the news that came out late last night. It was about 10:30. Of the news of Carlo Ancelotti being sacked by Napoli. I think this is it's becoming quite an interesting pattern, guys, because I'm pretty sure every single week there's at least one manager being sacked.
Crazy.
Just before we start a podcast, because we had Unai Emery, who was sacked, I think, when we did the first one, and he's gone. And now we've got Ancelotti, who gets sacked.
Marco Silva as well.
Marco Silva, yeah, he
4
went
weeks
as
in.
well.
Aye.
It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. But Ancelotti is the next manager in European football to face the sack. Last night, his side did win 4-0 against Genk in the Champions League, which a lot of people are looking at that and saying, well, it's a little bit harsh in that respect. But Napoli did find themselves on a 9-game streak without a win, leaving no choice but Ancelotti to leave the club. The decision was made before the game last night, with Gennaro Gattuso, the ex-AC Milan manager, joining the club. It's not been announced yet that he's going to be the new manager, but Fabrizio Romano, a respectable Italian journalist, confirmed that news last night. What are you guys thinking about this? Because I think it was written in the stars he was going to go, but I don't think people were expecting it in the manner that it's happened.
Is there any other manager that's been sacked after a 4-0 win?
I wouldn't say so.
I genuinely don't know.
I
Like,
don't know.
we were talking about this and we said that the writing was on the wall because we saw Arsenal went 8 games without a win, gone. He's gone 9 games without a win, usually means gone. And especially, I think they're about 17 points off the title now, which
They're quite a long way off.
Yeah,
In
it's-
fact, I'll
I think it's
I'll check for
17
you.
points. So that's not really acceptable for a club of Napoli's stature. So it makes sense in that way. But again, is Gattuso any better than Ancelotti is? I personally don't think so. Maybe he'll get on with the players more, but that's the only positive I can see, really, because I understand that he had to go. I think it's more down to the president than anyone else.
Yeah, you as you said before, they are indeed 17 points off the title already. And in terms of the European positions, including the Europa League, 7 points off already. I think it's safe to say, when you look at the teams above, Atalanta, Roma, Cagliari, it's going to be very hard for them to fight their way into the European spots. In terms of your thoughts, what do you think about it, Kieran?
I think they should. I know 9 games without a win's bad, especially in the terms of what Napoli are as a side. I just feel like it's a little bit harsh, and maybe it's a bit similar to what Diego Simeone is going under at Atletico Madrid. That transition period. Some of his players are getting a bit older now. Mertens, Haisage.
They lost Hamsik
They
as
lost
well.
Hamsik, yeah, it's a big loss for him because he was a mainstay in their side. I feel it might be a little bit harsh on the 4-0, but on the 4-0 win yesterday, but he did need to go. But I'm saying that maybe you should just give him a little bit more time, maybe just after Christmas, to see where they are.
Yeah, I'd agree in that sense. I'm looking at some of the results that happened throughout that 9-game period. The last win that they got before the Genk match was in the Champions League against Red Bull Salzburg, which obviously we talked about the Liverpool game last night.
Yeah.
I think that's a match that probably cost Red Bull Salzburg in the end getting through. But some of the poor results included they got a draw against Spal, a 1-1 draw. They got a draw against Genoa, who were down towards the bottom of Serie A, a 0-0 draw. They also got a draw against Udinese, who were also towards the bottom of the league, as well as being down to 10 men. In terms of the fixtures for Gattuso as he comes in, the first game that I have in charge is in 3 days' time against Parma, if the deal is announced, of course, because it's not been announced as of yet. But I'm looking down towards the new year. He's got a very tricky start because Napoli have got games against Inter Milan, Lazio, and Juventus all in January.
That's another reason why I want to sack him, so the manager don't get off to a bad start. But however, what I want to say is the contrast in performance between the Champions League and the league for Napoli especially is amazing, because they were really good against Liverpool first game of the group stage. They were lucky, then they took the chances at Anfield, and they've done all right in the group stage. One maybe poor result against Genk away from home. Was it 0-0? Is that the game I'm thinking of, or was it Salzburg away 0-0?
It was. Let me have a look.
But
It
anyway,
was Genk indeed. Yes.
Yeah. But that is probably the Champions League is probably what's kept him in a job as of that. And now they've got through it. They're probably like, right, we want to move on now. But I don't think Gattuso's the right person.
I just think it's the manner of who they've been dropping points to. You look at that tough upcoming period. I think if he goes 9 games without a win in that period, we're looking at a whole different story.
Yeah.
Because the teams are more difficult. I'm sorry, Spal, you're miles better than them. You're miles better than Genoa. You're miles better than Udinese.
They lost. Well, they effectively got draws against Spal, who are bottom of Serie A, on 9 points. Udinese, who are 4 points away from relegation in 16th, and Genoa, who are in the relegation zone themselves.
Exactly. So as I say, if the times were flipped and they were facing these difficult teams, because Inter look like, apart from last night in the Champions League, but they look like an unstoppable force in Serie A at the moment, really clicking. The 2 strikers are doing wonderful work for them. You look at Juventus, they're always up there. You can, chuck Lazio in after their big win this weekend, which I don't know.
Roma.
Exactly, Roma as well, who seem to be a defensive force with adding Chris Smalling to the ranks. So, I love it how we're talking about all these big Serie A sides at the moment, but even Cagliari, but we can't mention Napoli in the same breath because they're not close anymore.
Well, I'm looking at the Serie A table, and they're in 7th, as you said before. They're 17 points away from the title. In 8th place is Parma with 21 points. In 9th is Torino with 20 points. In 10th is AC Milan, who are struggling themselves on 20 points. You look at the teams that are very similar in terms of point stature.
Yep.
And Napoli, as you said yourself correctly, should be on another level. They should be up there with the Juventuses and the Lazios fighting for the title. And it's now a case of, is it too far, do you think? They've got to get 7 points to match Atalanta. They'd need to get 8 points to go into the European spots.
I think it's a bit similar to the Premier League in the terms of Arsenal, Man United and Spurs are all 5-7 points off the top 4. It is a similar stage to that, but I think those 3 teams are in a much better position than Napoli are right now.
Yeah, they're all playing catch-up. I'm sorry, if you're on the same points with a Parma who start Bruno Alves at the back, I'm sorry, you don't deserve
Portugal legend?
You do, not at 38, I tell you what. But you've got to look at the teams around. Yeah,
it's scary to think that. I'm just looking at Parma's back line now. They've got Bruno Alves and Damian.
There's not wrong about your Damian.
No, he's all right player, wasn't he, for Manchester United?
Yeah, in his first year.
Captain Bruno Alves.
It's scary to look at that.
And Jovino, sorry.
Actually, really good point. Parma's like a team of
the Serie A Neymar.
Yeah,
Jovino.
It's like a team of has-beens, hasn't it?
They take Premier League people that aren't doing that. Get Umani Assi, and I swear to God, he'll bang 20 a season.
I mean, I'm not being funny, but it's what's happened to Chris Smalling, hasn't it? Really, I mean, no disrespect to him.
And Lukaku.
He wasn't as good as a defender. I liked him personally. I thought he was a decent back for Man United, but he looks like a different animal in Italy. Does something happen when you go across to the Italian border?
It's scary, isn't it?
So the plan for the future is send Phil Jones on loan,
make
him a good defender, and then bring him back.
The plan is to just send Phil Jones, never bring him back, never bring him back.
So for Ancelotti, of course, now he finds himself in a position where he's got no job, but he's already been linked straight away to 2 positions in the Premier League. One of them's Arsenal, which we know won their game at the weekend. Midweek. And the other one, Everton.
That's confusing.
Now, I've got nothing to say. It leaves me speechless thinking that Ancelotti's been linked with Everton. Now, I don't know whether this is just an idea to get his name out, just so he does get a club straight away.
If you look at it, he's a mid-table manager in Serie A at the moment. So,
it's a fair point.
I don't mean to be harsh, but
7th is not mid-table. I'll have you know.
It's a fair point, but we've always known Ancelotti to be a manager who goes to top European sides. And to put it nicely, I'm not saying in a harsh way, but Everton aren't a top European side.
In my opinion, they should be a top European
side.
They should be a Europa League
side. They've got the quality
minimum
of players to be there.
If you look at Everton, they've always been that side over the last 10 years that should be just behind the top 6.
100%, yeah.
But this season, it's not been that case, and I don't know why it's not been that case, because you look at their squad and you think they've got a good enough squad to match the likes of Leicester and Wolves. Maybe not Leicester this season because they've been amazing, but especially Wolves in terms of they had that poor start. Wolves and Everton didn't really capitalise. They had their poor start as well. I feel like they should give Duncan Ferguson a bit more time because he's never managed before. Unpredictable. Nobody knows how he plays. He looks to me like he plays like Sean Dyche does.
Yeah.
But we'll see that at the weekend against Man United, won't we, how he plays. In my opinion, they should give him some more time.
I think it's worrying for Everton because you can't say it's been a lack of investment because
No.
they have invested.
They invest every summer, don't they?
They've invested a lot of money. Maybe not in the right talents. For example, they've always lacked a striker and they've never really kind of fixed that until trying to get Moise Keane, but he's been a disaster since he's come over.
To me, that's not his fault. He's not getting played.
No, I'm not saying it's his fault, but it hasn't worked the way the investment they'd like to. And another worrying thing is for Everton, they've been always that team that want to push for 6th and 7th, and they got took over by a newly promoted team in their first season. And Everton have been unable to do it for so long, and then this newly promoted side comes and goes, it's not that hard. And then
that's a very fair point.
That's what I think could be what hurts the most is the fact that they've been trying this for year on year on year and they've never quite been able to do it. And then Wolves come up from the Championship and go, we'll do it.
And Wolves didn't really invest that much. They brought Dendoncker in, they brought Raul Jimenez in, and those two signings have been
They were mostly
excellent.
loans though last year, weren't they? They loaned Dendoncker, they loaned Jimenez.
Was it 30 million they paid for Jimenez?
Yeah,
and he's been paid permanently.
Instrumental to Wolves.
Yeah, he's such a good player.
I do think he's one of the most underrated players in the Premier League.
Did you see that cross he did for Jota's first goal against Brighton on the outside of his right foot?
Really, really good. He makes so many goals and assists.
Yeah.
He's underappreciated.
It's a smart idea because if you've only just come up and you spend 30 million on Jimenez and he doesn't turn out to be the player he is, then you've just wasted 30 million and you've only just come up, so you could be in a real crap situation.
I suppose it helps having George Mendes as you.
Well, Everton are in 14th. They are 7 points from the European spots, so
it's not that many.
With the way the Premier League's been this season, there's still plenty of time for them to get back into it. But is a case of, as you said, do they stick with Duncan Ferguson and give him a little bit more time, or do they go down the route of bringing someone like an Ancelotti to try and get the team up there?
He shouldn't be there. Ancelotti's not.
No.
He should, if he wants to be up there again with the elite managers, he needs to go to Arsenal and try to get them up there with the elite, which is going to be tricky because.
If he wants a different challenge. To do something different, then maybe
he's coming to the end of his career.
Yeah,
I think Nico Kovac's the smarter one out of the two.
For Everton or Arsenal?
For Everton.
Well, he has been snooping around Everton and Arsenal. He was seen at both of their games recently. So
I think Ancelotti is more likely to go to Arsenal and Nico Kovac is more likely to go to Everton.
But you've got Allegri as well. Allegri, he's not ruled out going to Arsenal yet.
He's not, but he said
Pochettino's not ruled out going anywhere.
For the rest of the year.
He said he's coming back next June, but he's learning English at the moment.
Might be a little nudge, wink, wink.
He can go to Arsenal if he wants. I mean, keep Freddie Ljungberg there for a year.
No, well, do you know what? I think Allegri, wherever he go, it's weird because all the managerial positions seem to be opening up right now.
Yeah, around Christmas time.
This is going to be a stupid. Well, I wouldn't say it's a stupid question, but obviously, let's say things do go a little bit at Manchester United, and Ole does eventually go. Would you take someone like Ancelotti at the club? No.
Because I agree with
Do you think he's outdated?
Yeah, I agree with what everyone's saying. He is a bit of a dinosaur. I want someone who plays attacking football, someone who's exciting, someone who makes Man United excited to watch. And at the moment, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing that.
Get yourself a Thomas Tuchel.
Well, we will be talking about Manchester United.
I don't think he'll leave PSG, though, actually. If they don't win in the Champions League, I reckon he'll probably get sacked.
This is the thing. It's another job for me where PSG is really hard to keep your job.
It is because, I mean, you're expected to win the league. I mean, I could go in there and win the league with PSG, but it's the Champions League that they bottle it year on year.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how we've got on PSG, though.
If we do actually go into Manchester United, perfect little segue in, I swear. It works every single week. There's always a segue in and it works so perfect. It was the Manchester derby on Saturday evening. Now, I stupidly put Manchester City 2-1 Manchester United.
Which I was fuming at.
Which is why you don't write notes late at night. But it was actually Manchester United 1, Manchester.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was Manchester City 1, Manchester United 2.
So it's our biggest win of the season. Let us have it.
And in fact, it's not just in terms of your biggest win, but you now find yourself 5 games unbeaten in the league.
3 draws.
which is 3 draws. 3 draws, 2 wins, but the last 2 wins against
was about
Spurs
to
and
say,
City.
Your form is unbelievably backwards.
It is.
Your 2 wins have come against Tottenham and City, but your draws have come
I
against
said,
Villa,
I said
Sheffield.
this to Josh before we started. I said to Josh, I'd have taken a draw against Tottenham and Man City, but we just did it the opposite way around because we should have beat Villa and Sheffield United, to be fair. But
Literally.
we've ended up on more points than I expected us to.
But in terms of the game, there was early goals from Rashford and Martial. Now, I'm not going to lie, I didn't watch the match. I was at the cinema.
I did. Don't worry.
I loved it.
did.
Loved every
When
second.
I
I
looked
did.
at Twitter after I came out of the cinema and saw Manchester United with 2-0 up, I couldn't believe it. I was
Not even
like,
could I watch
wow,
it.
this is incredible. The race for the title, in my opinion, and I think you could probably all agree, is looking pretty much over for City after defeat to Manchester United. Of course, I said before, Manchester United, they now find themselves 5-game unbeaten, obviously 2 wins, 3 draws, and are closing the gap on Chelsea in the hunt for top 4 by 5 points. They do lie in 3rd place, 6 points behind Leicester and 14 behind Liverpool. Is the race over for the title?
No.
I want to
Even
say,
at 14 points,
yes,
are you saying
but
that the title
I
race is over?
genuinely,
Well, not over,
refuse.
sorry.
to me, sorry, what were you going to say?
No,
You
I was just saying
refuse?
I refuse to believe that it's over because in football, this just seems one like a Liverpool thing. Politely,
Yes, I
it seems
agree.
like a Liverpool thing to do.
That's what I was going to say.
And 2, until the other season where we saw Leicester win the Premier League, all that season I was going, they're not going to win it.
That's
'cause
what I
they're
said
not
as
gonna
well.
win it.
That's what I said.
It's impossible to win it. They can't win it.
They'll fall off eventually.
Yeah, exactly. And so this season I'm there going, Liverpool will fall off eventually. It's what they do. This is what's going to happen. And they haven't yet.
I mean, what I think will happen is they've looked defensively shaky a few times this
Yes.
season.
Yeah.
And I think in the Christmas period, that's when it'll get to them. They'll start to drop points. Maybe not as many as I think they'll drop, but they'll start to drop points. They'll eventually lose a game. And if Man City can capitalise on that, that's what'll eventually help them. But in terms of Leicester, they've got Man City and Liverpool coming up. If they lose both of those games and Liverpool win both of those games, I think that it is over for Leicester.
I'm loving Leicester at the moment.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
It's
loving-
been really enjoyable to watch.
It's fantastic. It reminds me of that season all over again. I think.
Arguably, they have a better team now.
Well, what people? Oh yeah, definitely. But what people? I mean, they had Robert Huth at the back. Of course, they had a better team.
Wes Morgan,
But,
Christian Fuchs,
I feel like
Danny Simpson.
I'm seeing everyone on Twitter. Everyone's sat there just going, "How can we not all just love Leicester and root them on?"
It's just Jamie Vardy, innit? Just
They
love
are
him.
like
It's
the
just a
the
club.
heartthrob club of the Premier League, aren't
Literally,
they?
I
The
think-
one side that everybody kind of puts their hands
I mean,
up and
this
go, well, I
small-
can't really not like them.
Exactly. Unless you're facing them, everyone wants them
Yeah.
to win.
Yeah.
Like that is just the way Leicester are for some reason. I think it started with the 2014 season, then the owner and all that, and then it's like everyone kind of looks at them in admiration because they've got to this point, not by the way, for example, City got to this point, tycoon, money.
No.
They invested cleverly, they invested
It's not
smartly.
cleverly.
Oh God, they invested smartly, and then they've slowly built their way up now to a top side, and now it proves dividends when they might have a return to Champions League football.
Which
Get
is,
in.
I would love to see that. So far, 16 games Leicester City have played, 12 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses.
Excuse me,
30
them losses came against.
Is that by any chance one of them Manchester
Oh
United?
yes, Old Trafford, 1-0.
Once again, though, another club that you love beating the
We
top,
do,
like the
we
top
do.
6
We're
sides.
not- the teams that are above us, we
yeah.
haven't lost them.
They've scored 39 goals, which is only 1 less than Liverpool, and they've only conceded 10, which is the best defensive record in the Premier League. They just look unformidable.
Yeah.
Obviously, Brendan Rodgers very recently as well signed a brand new contract to keep
And
him at the
they're
club.
I think
Opening contract talks with Maddison and Soyuncu out there as well.
I think so.
Saw that on
So
Sky Sports today.
he did that on purpose. He came out and talked about the
Yeah.
Arsenal job to get that moolah.
yeah,
I think,
he
and they
knew
did,
what
and
he
they
was
did it
doing.
because they probably like saw it and they were
Well,
crapping themselves.
that's
that
the
it was
thing.
going to go because of that release
I
clause.
think a lot of Arsenal fans looked at that and thought, right, Brendan Rodgers is coming in now, and Rodgers was thinking, no, I just want some more money on the contract, put it on the table. But we will talk a little bit more about Manchester City later on because they're one of the games that we picked for the weekly roundup. They'll be facing Arsenal this weekend,
Christ.
so that's going to be a fun one. But
Unlucky
we'll go
Freddie.
on to the Serie A. This will probably be quite a very brief one. It was
Especially this game.
a big fixture between Inter Milan and Roma.
Oh, the
It's
small.
there was a little bit that went on before the match. There was
Oh,
a certain
Christ.
Italian newspaper that
Oh,
decided to run the
What a
title
joke.
Black Friday, which
What
I
a
think is
joke.
the worst idea you could ever have. And then when they were asked about the title, One of the guys that runs the company basically said those that believe it's about racism have got like ghosts in the soul or something stupid, which is the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I look at a picture of Romelu Lukaku and think, I can make some great deals on a TV.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Italy is known for that, though. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes, they are.
Didn't a pundit get sacked because he came out and said the only way to stop Romelu Lukaku would be to throw some bananas on the floor?
It's
disgraceful.
It is
just ridiculous.
That's on live telly.
There was my dad was telling me the other day there was an Asian player who scored against Italy to knock Japan out of a competition. Oh, it might have been Japan. I think it was Japan. To knock Italy out of a competition, and he played in Italy, and he went back, and the club actually sacked him because he scored against Italy, and the fans
actually, it's a very true story.
Yeah,
I
can't remember what his name was.
I can't, but I remember hearing about it.
Yeah.
Look at what happens to Balotelli. Balotelli is Italian,
Yeah.
yet they're still racist to him.
Exactly.
It's like they don't care about anyone.
It is.
I kind of do feel sorry for Balotelli because they're
Speaking-
saying that he can leave on a free
Yeah.
this January because of everything that's going on.
Is it Brescia?
Brescia, yeah.
Brescia.
Speaking of dinosaurs, every Italian citizen that's racist, there you go. Bunch of dinosaurs.
All of them.
But
Get the asteroids back.
funnily enough, the standout performer from that game was Chris Smalling once again.
yeah.
He was,
Love to
I
see it.
believe, I'm pretty sure he got man of the match for the game. He was
Ollie Solskjaer said the
unbelievable.
other day that Chris Smalling is coming back to Man United. Said he will return.
Do you know what?
It's going to be interesting.
I don't like that move for his career for the pure fact that he's clearly enjoying his football. He's clearly playing the best he's ever played. I'd love it for him just to stay there and just be happy, because as much as the racist thing is another thing, because it happens all the time in Italy, he's just upped his game.
He's in the form of his life.
He is.
Exactly.
He's at that age where he should be at his peak, and he's hitting it now.
And I just don't want him to move back to England and then not be the centre-back he is over there.
Maybe
And-
this has helped his game, though. Do you know what I mean? Maybe moving and seeing a different style of football, because it's obviously different in Italy than it is to the Premier League.
Well,
Maybe it's going to help his game.
That's the thing.
I think defence in Italy is
Italy, yeah. When you think of Italian teams, you
Yeah.
always think about a strong, solid defence, and you've got to think when he's playing alongside the likes of Fazio, who he wasn't good at Tottenham.
Oh, dear.
He wasn't good at Tottenham
No,
at
but
all.
he improved his game.
But he's improved his game as well.
Who
And when
else
you
is
get in a
in
little
the,
bit of
around the team?
experience,
Who else
they've got
was-
Mancini, the young centre back,
Don't know who it is.
Italian.
Pezzella? Oh no, he plays for Fiorentina.
Yeah,
my bad.
I think they're kind of the main three
Kolarov, got
centre
Kolarov
backs.
as well.
Bruno Alves.
Yeah, that's Palmer. But he's really upped his game, and I think, as I said before, he's in the form of his life. Why move back to Manchester United and risk going back into a bit of a slump in form?
That was my worry. Do you know when the rumours came? I know Jadon Sancho's now come out and said he's not happy with Lucifer, but do you know when he was on his form of his life last year?
Yeah.
And everyone was going, "Oh, he needs to move in summer. He needs to move." No, because if he's playing so well, and I know Smalling's not young, he doesn't have that youth side to him now, but he is growing as a defender, and he's probably getting much smarter. Because you look at Chiellini and you look at Bonucci, Barzagli for so long, they're not blessed with great pace. They just have a great understanding of how to be a top defender.
It's
Whereas
the
I think
reading of the game.
Yeah, I think Smalling's going to gain that from being in Italy. And the style of plays are different, so maybe he's just more suited to the Italian style of play, the slower style.
And I forgot to say as well, for any of you that are watching live, if you do have any questions, you're more than welcome to put them in the comment section, and we will answer them.
And subscribe.
Yeah, exactly. Subscribe and like as well. We've got to get
Share
that.
the video.
Got to get that in.
Turn
But,
that notification bell on.
the other
Where's
game.
the bell? Where's the bell?
Oh, we need the bell now. The other game that did occur in Serie A at the weekend was Lazio versus Juventus. And Lazio won that game. There were goals from centre-back Luis Felipe, Milinkovic-Savic, and a late finish from Felipe Caicedo, who got that up from absolutely nothing. Let's be real. I think, did you say it was a tap in?
Oh my God! Right, Lazzari went through 1-on-1.
Right.
Szczesny made a set. I will quick plaudits for Szczesny.
Yeah, he had an
incredible game, even though he made a double save from a penalty from Immobile, world class. And then Lazzari went through. It got saved. I think they then had another shot which was blocked, and Caicedo just kind of stood there and swiveled and hit it in. And I remember us saying, we were watching the Europa League game, I don't really know what Caicedo does.
He's just there.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He stands there and
That
he's
reminds
just
me of
there.
someone who plays for Man
I
United.
was going to say, you wonder why Immobile gets all the plaudits. You watch him next to Caicedo, you understand why Immobile gets all the plaudits.
Maybe Immobile's learnt from Caicedo all his tricks. But in terms of the notes that I've put down for this game, Lazio shocked Juventus as Ronaldo's early opening goal wasn't enough to spur the side to victory. With a red card for Juventus fullback Cuadrado, which by the way is scary to say that he's a a full-back now and he's not a winger under
Full-back.
Sarri. Lazio were able to dominate even with only 39% possession. Juventus dropped to second place, 2 points behind Inter, and Lazio stay in third, but they're only 3 points behind Juventus.
I think
Are they dark horses?
Yes.
Lazio,
Yes.
Considering they don't have to focus on the Europa League.
with Caicedo up front, of course they are.
Don't start.
But in terms of Juventus, I think they should count themselves very lucky that Inter Milan didn't win.
Yeah, because
they've been 4 points behind you. 4 points behind them.
yeah, 4 points,
Inter Milan were to win.
and
So,
that's.
I think they should build a statue of Chris Smalling outside their stadium.
But in terms of the other game in the Bundesliga, we'll move on to that right now.
love
Gladbach
the
versus
Bundesliga.
Bayern. Right. This was quite a dramatic game
my God.
because in the 92nd minute of the match, there was a decider from Algerian fullback Rami Benzibaini, who scored both goals in the game. It was a moment of madness from Xavi Martinez, who got himself sent off, gifting the 3 points to the league leaders. What the hell was he thinking?
Do you know we talk about Xhaka and we say an experienced player that's never become experienced?
Yeah.
Javi Martinez, for me, was an experienced player, but this was a moment of absolute stupidity.
I haven't actually seen this.
Oh,
It's honestly,
it's
it's ridiculous.
he's nowhere near the ball. He's on a yellow already. He just comes sliding in
Yeah.
in the box and takes the guy out. And I tell you what, if I'm ever 1-0 down, I'm going to call on my left back to get me a double.
He's been on ridiculous form recently. I'm pretty sure he scored quite recently as well.
He added. Oh, he's. Do you know what?
He's got an inform.
Stand up, Ben Sabine.
Might be second in form now.
Yeah.
He's
My
new.
team of the week at 3 o'clock.
Oh God.
Duh.
He's a new signing for them, isn't he? Because didn't he come from Stade Rennais?
Yeah, he came from Stade Rennes last season, and
Yeah.
he's honestly he's coming to this team, and it's like he's been there for ages.
Literally,
He's been incredible.
he's a fullback, but he's got size, and the first goal did come from a header.
Oh yes.
So he does bring that side to his game as well.
Say
'cause
he's 6'1".
yeah,
Is he?
Yeah.
usually with fullbacks, you kind of go like, for example, you look at maybe Luke Shaw or Kieran Tierney or something. You're not expecting them to win. Sorry, you don't expect them to win a mountainous header at the back post.
I mean, I'd expect Luke Shaw to win a header at the back post.
Yeah, so far this season, apparently he's played 5 matches, 3 goals. What's he doing at left back? Stick him up top. If he's scoring 3 goals in 5 matches.
If Quadrado is a right back or
Yeah.
full back, then Ben Sabani's a left winger.
No, do you know what? Genuinely, Mönchengladbach. I love the commentary as well because he's just there going, "They're starting to believe," and
yeah,
I'm like,
it was
I'm
a dramatic
starting to-
moment.
I'm starting to believe as well because I tell you what, this Mönchengladbach side don't look like budging. We were talking about
No.
it earlier yesterday, I think it was, and we were saying no one in the Bundesliga looks like they want to win the title. But
And once again, they are one of the games that we picked out for the weekend. They've got another massive match coming, which, to be fair, every match in the Bundesliga is big now. But in terms
That's
of
the
what happened in
interesting
the game, it was a moment of madness. As I said, Javi Martinez was sent off, gifting the 3 points to league leaders. They're still without a permanent manager, Bayern Munich. They're now 7th in the Bundesliga, 7 points off the top spot, while Gladbach stay in first place. They're only 1 point ahead of RB Leipzig.
is that where Ancelotti goes? Bayern?
No.
Back to Bayern again.
No.
He's the options there. I'm just saying, you know.
I think Bayern Munich need to look at themselves and think, especially those experienced players, and think, what are we doing in 7th place? We're the Bundesliga
Yeah.
champions every single season. Obviously, it's nice from a fan's point of view, especially from an English fan's point of view, to see change in different leagues, because we're so used to Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, Bayern Munich winning these leagues. It's nice to see change, but those experienced Bayern Munich players need to look at themselves and think, we need to get ready for our next manager. We need to be better than what we are right now,
Yeah.
because 7th in the league is nowhere near good enough. That's not even Champions. That's not even Europa League football.
No, it's not.
Do you
You don't get Europa League football for coming 7th.
Do you
We
think-
have got a quick
Go on.
question, by the way.
Oh, go on.
It's a question from Rowan O'Connell. How are you doing today, Rowan? His
Wonder
question
who he
is, how much has Rowan let you down?
A lot.
A
A lot.
You know what?
No,
Too
get
many-
well soon.
No, get well soon, lad.
Too many times to count. Do you know, I was thinking about Bayern Munich, and we were talking about transitional phases the other day.
Yeah.
And this summer, obviously, they lost Robben and Ribéry, two
Oh, yeah.
very experienced players. The years before that, they lost Lam, Xabi Alonso, stuff like that. This year, let's be fair, they're going to probably lose Boateng.
Yeah.
They're probably going to get rid of Javi Martinez. Let's be honest, because
He's been linked to going back to Athletic Bilbao.
Exactly. And Neuer's getting old as well. I know keepers, it doesn't affect as much. But do you think this is a slow kind of... They kind of need to do a refresh in Munich at the moment?
Well, I was going to
Yeah.
say, doesn't it feel never-ending? Because it feels like over the last 3 to 4 years, everybody said Bayern need to refresh the squad. And as they're refreshing
Muller.
it,
I mean, they are
Players-
refreshing their squad.
players
If you,
start start getting age. So as they brought in the likes of Coman and Alphonso Davies, they've
I
brought in
rate
2,
those two.
and then they've lost 2 because they lost Ribery and Robin.
I'd rate those two.
Well,
though,
this
they're
is what
very, very good.
interests you say that, but then they're playing Alphonso Davies at defence.
Left back.
They're playing him at
They've
left
got
back.
David Alaba for that, haven't they?
Yeah,
they
they
have.
They played David Alaba at
But
left mid.
I'm pretty sure
Why
they have,
not?
I'm
Ben
pretty sure
Spana can do it.
they've had some injury problems. I think the transition's starting because you look at the signing of Pavard,
Yeah.
Hernandez. So it's a beginning of one, but I think they need to just clear out. For example, Muller. I think his time in Bayern Munich's done now.
His
He's-
goal scoring's just died,
But the
hasn't it? He
thing is,
doesn't score anymore.
He scored the other week, and they literally went, "His drought's finally over."
It amazes me because if you look at Bayern Munich this season, they've had some really good performances. Like they beat, especially the one against Spurs when they went to White Hart Lane, dismantled them. Serge Gnabry and Robert Lewandowski scored. Well, they run obviously games down, but he scored an incredible amount of goals in an incredible amount of games.
Against Dortmund as well, they dispatched
Yeah.
Dortmund.
Yeah.
Be that Dortmund being poor,
Was it Frankfurt that beat Bayern Munich 5-1?
Yeah, where we did.
Yeah. The defensive side of that, you look at the defence and you think that should be one of the best defences in the world.
but that was another red card from an experienced
Paul
player.
was saying. Was it
That's-
10 minutes he got sent off?
Yeah, so it's the experienced players letting them down. But we looked at the same for Dortmund the other week, and Hummels got sent off within bloody 10 minutes.
Well, they got a play sent off last night as well, didn't they? Dortmund.
Did they? Oh, yeah.
Julian Weigl.
Julian
I
Weigl
wouldn't
got
call
sent
him
off.
experienced. I'd just call him meh.
He's average at best. We'll
Yeah.
go on to La Liga now. This is one we're just going to quickly glance over. We did talk about Villarreal versus Atletico Madrid. It was a boring 0-0 draw, to be honest. Both sides struggled to find any shots on target as both clubs continue their poor recent form. I'm pretty sure it said they had about 3 shots on target all game long from both sides. Atletico Madrid dropped to 7th. They're now 8 points away from the top 2, while Villarreal dropped to 13th. They're now 6 points away from the relegation zone, a position that they found themselves in last year.
Said this last week. The Yellow Submarine is definitely sinking.
Well, on to League One now. We'll glance over that one very quickly.
I was going to say, I think the only thing we can mention is exactly what I mentioned last week, apart from the poor jokes, were the fact that Atletico Madrid's struggling to score goals still.
Yeah.
They've got a great defence, and that's why they keep a lot of teams out, but they just need to score.
Is it a worry for Villarreal that potentially they're going to find themselves in a relegation battle
Yes.
again?
Yes.
No, I don't want to say they're used to it now, but they're no longer where they were. They're no longer
No.
the top half team where they once were, I don't think.
I mean, it's a
anymore.
shame to see because they started the season quite well. They've got quite a decent run of form going, and now they've just slumped and they're dropping.
10 years ago, they were in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Like Man United, they were playing Man United in Champions League. It's just
I know. 10 years ago, they were both good sides.
Oh,
don't start with hope.
bit of tension here.
Don't start because let us have it. We've beaten Tottenham and Man City. Let us have it. Come on.
Rowan, we've got a question here from Ben Simpson. He says, "Do you guys think European teams underestimate Scottish teams in Europa League groups?"
Oh yeah, definitely.
100%.
100%.
Yes.
No, I completely.
You
I
look
think-
at what Rangers have done this year. Porto definitely underestimated
Look at
what
Celtic.
Rangers did. Look at what Celtic have
Lazio,
done.
that win was incredible.
Especially when Celtic beat Barcelona as well.
I've got to say,
Do you think it's the fact they don't do enough research on these teams? Because let's be fair, I think when you look in big European competitions, you go to a Premier League side, you'll know how they play because week in, week out it gets mentioned and mentioned. Bundesliga, stuff like that. The Scottish League, I feel like it's one of them, they put it to the back of their minds and just go, we'll beat them because we're better. Yeah, I don't think that's always how it works. Yes, I think as it gets to latter stages, Rangers and Celtic will be outclassed. I think it's definitely going to happen because the teams that are dropping down are just too good.
I'm pretty sure I said it last week. I'm going to put my hands up and say I really want a Celtic v Rangers knockout tie in the Europa League. I really want it.
I mean, Rangers were unlucky the other day.
Yeah.
In the Scottish Cup final.
They were, yes.
They were really unlucky. If Fraser Forster wasn't an animal.
Oh, it was an incredible game of football. Fraser Forster, I'm sorry, but he needs to be called up to the England squad.
Does he?
As a third choice.
Does he?
Yeah.
We were talking about this, weren't we?
Who is the third choice at the moment? Is it Tommy?
Dean Henderson, I think. There's Dean Henderson, Pickford,
Well,
and
I was going to say
is it Pope?
Yeah. But I'd move if you are bringing Foster in, take out Pope because don't take out Henderson and bring in Foster.
Well, look
Sorry,
at
we're
Burnley.
talking
They're
about
slumping
Fraser
down the
Forster,
league.
not Ben Foster.
I'd bring him in as well. Why not?
Why not have all of the Fosters and the Forsters? Have them all together. But no, it was a game they dominated Rangers and they had so many chances on goal. But Fraser
I've just
Forster.
realised that's not on our weekend fixture.
No, I didn't put it on there. As I said, I was right. I was writing it late at night. God, when I blame Ancelotti getting sacked, but no, it was a really, really good game of football. We've got another question from Rowan as well. Do you see this as a Leicester season in the Bundesliga, where it's a one-off season, or can we see a levelling phase in the league?
For Gladbach I'm supposing it's for Gladbach.
Well, Leipzig haven't won the title yet.
No.
So, but Leipzig have kind of always been up there. I guess it'd be like, for example, the Spurs winning the title last year if they went off.
But do you think if, like, especially like Timo Werner, if he left Leipzig, do you think that'd hinder their?
Oh yeah.
100% yes.
But in terms of
they'd suffer.
In terms of the question, like, is it a Leicester type season? I think it's different in the case of, let's be fair, Leicester won the league because everyone else was rubbish.
Yeah.
Politely. Whereas in the Bundesliga, everyone else in that top 7 is still really good.
Except Bayern Munich.
Except Bayern Munich. And Dortmund. So I think if you look at teams like Freiburg, who you didn't expect to be up there, Schalke not really. You expect them to be around the area but never up there. Even Leipzig, because you expect them to be third. I think if they can keep it going, the only thing that I worry about is that every game now for Mönchengladbach is a cup final.
Yeah.
And I think they have Europa League to contend with as well.
They do indeed.
Are they through their group yet, or are they?
To say they're balancing Thursday and Sunday games.
Sorry, we do that.
Yeah, but you're not top of the league.
No.
Mönchengladbach are doing really well. Do you think it could be a Leicester season? I'm not sure now.
I don't watch enough Bundesliga
just
football
to give you a heads up,
know.
They're not through there. They're not through yet. They could still get knocked out.
Who are they in a group with?
They're in the group with Roma, Istanbul, Basaksehir, and Wolfsberg. Not Wolfsburg, Wolfsberg.
Don't like Wolfsburg.
Oh,
Austrian side.
Wolfsberg.
They're on 8 points at the top of the group. Then it's Roma in second on 8 points. Then it's Istanbul, Basaksehir on 7 points in third.
Yeah, they're doing well, Basaksehir.
I just want to say, just on Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, I think it's a bit similar to what Napoli have done. Like they're really good in the Champions League. Why can't they do that in the league? Do you know what I mean? Man City, they're all right in the Champions League.
Well, Ben Simpson's just put, going back to the point about Celtic and Rangers, he's put, if Rangers win on Thursday against Young Boys, both Scottish teams will have gone through on top in their
Young
group.
Boys, tough side to beat.
It's a tricky game considering the amount of pressure that's on
I'll
them.
admit, I know Ben. And
Ben.
that's not the only admission. That was it. That's my point. I'll admit I know him.
Right, you know Ben. Right, let's move on. League One.
But when that draw got made, when they were in the same group, I think it's Feyenoord, Porto and Young Boys, I went, you've not got a chance of getting out. I apologise.
Young Boys were in the Champions League
exactly.
last year.
To be fair, I'm not going to lie, I looked at that as kind of like a mini group of death. I saw all 4 teams as potential candidates to go through.
They all could have gone through that. And do you know what? Rangers, credit to themselves. You know, they've managed to come out. I tell you what, we can't underestimate what a job Steven Gerrard's done.
No.
I really can't.
I think it's unfair for the Scottish team that wins the league to have to play a qualifier for the Champions League.
Well,
I feel like that's not fair because they've won their domestic competition.
We saw this year Celtic didn't make it, so clearly they were a better team than Celtic to go into the Champions League.
And I guess at the end of the day, there's still teams around the world that have to play qualifies anyway, even when they've topped the league. You know, teams like Apoel and teams like that, they still have to play qualifiers.
That team in the Azerbaijan league's got to play.
But I will put my hands up and say I have watched a lot of Celtic and Rangers throughout the group stages, and they've been on formidable form. And the game that Celtic played against Lazio was unbelievable.
I tell you what they have, which we mention all the time about a Red Star Belgrade. If you go to Ibrox, that is a place you do not want to go on a European night.
I really want. I'd love to go to Ibrox.
I've been. It's absolute because I went when they just got back up. They'd done that really long journey back up, and they were facing Hamilton on opening day of the season. And I love going to KCON, but I've not been to a game with that atmosphere. I love the KCON more because that's my team, but I've not been to a game with the atmosphere like it. I can imagine on a European night in the knockout stages, they could pull off a shock in that stadium, genuinely, because of the atmosphere on it alone.
In the Europa League, is it like everyone for themselves when in the knockout stage? Can you get anybody?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
So you could see Rangers possibly get Arsenal or Man United.
I'm
not going to say definitely no.
Because I am not sure either.
Yeah,
I know in the Champions League you can't do that the first.
I'd try and have a look, but I'd probably be here for about 10 or 15 minutes trying to find out. But I'm pretty sure, isn't it? Is it the first round you can't, but then the round afterwards you can?
I feel like that's Champions League.
Yeah, but I don't know whether it works the same in the Europa League or not.
No, because
I don't know.
Because let's be fair, what you've got to add with the Europa League is the teams dropping down.
Yeah,
you've got to contend. Who do they get and stuff? I don't even know.
I'm guessing
we'll see on Monday. We'll see on Monday,
which we will be doing the Champions League and Europa League draw live on the Top Corner show.
I will also be here.
There will be all 4 of us for that. That will be on the 16th of December, 10:30, while 1 o'clock. We've got another question. Thanks for all the questions, by the way, guys. We really do appreciate it. Rowan's put another question for us. Do you think these Scottish teams have a genuine chance of actually progressing to a final because of the level of football in their league?
No, not yet.
No.
Only by luck.
That's a good point. Yeah,
by luck or passion,
Yeah.
depending on, because if you think
in terms of Rangers, yeah.
if they come up against, for example, Lazio, we were fighting for the title in their league, they might just kind of think we need to get our ducks in a row in the stereotypical term, and we need to focus on this, and we might not put as much effort in, and if we make it past them, we make it past them. I think the only way that Celtic and Rangers can win these things is if they play 10 out of 10 every single game.
It's tough to do that, isn't it? Because you're playing. It's like playing Thursday then Saturday.
I think as well when you just get to the knockout stages, let's say for example one of Celtic or Rangers was to face Inter Milan, the pressure on the players to go to a San Siro,
two massive stadiums, isn't it? That'd be an excellent game.
I put my hands up and say I really do like Celtic and Rangers. I like whenever they play, whenever it's a derby, especially this weekend's match was incredible. The fans were up for it. The pundits, I mean, BT Sport dedicated a full day to Celtic versus Rangers.
This is the closest the two have ever been since Rangers were sadly knocked down all those divisions because of what happened, sadly. But this is the closest they've ever been together. And Steven Gerrard, like you said, has done an excellent job at
He's been fantastic.
Rangers.
I feel for them because I feel their lack of competition in their league hinders their European performance.
Yeah.
Like the reason that these English sides, these Italian sides, these German sides do so well
They
is
used to rather.
they play more high-quality games throughout the season. Because if we look in Serie A and Bundesliga, we're going, oh, it's a great weekend. It's a great weekend after weekend. I swear to God, in Scotland, you can do two a year, and it's the old firm and the old firm.
Maybe Aberdeen to a push, but
we're pushing it.
Yeah.
I did say to a push.
But no, like that's the thing. Week in, week out in these big leagues, we see great games. Whereas in Scotland, I feel most weeks you can go Celtic and Rangers 1 before you've even seen the games.
And Ben's put in the comment, he agrees, Ibrox and Parkhead are very hard stadiums to play in when you're a away team, very hostile atmosphere. And that's
especially if you're
point.
from another country and you don't know about these Scottish teams.
Exactly.
I tell you what, I kind of want to see him face the Austrian team. So when you go away, they've got all the flares, and when we come back to Ibrox, they've got the flags. That'd be mental.
But to very briefly wrap up the weekend fixture results, I'll quickly go through League 1. There was the game versus Montpellier versus PSG. PSG scored all 4 goals in that game. The first goal went to Esteban Paredes, which was an own goal for Montpellier to give the home side the lead. However, the elite front three of Neymar, Mbappe and Icardi all got goals in the last 30 minutes to give the club their 13th victory out of the 16 matches they've played so far. PSG stay top with 39 points, while Montpellier dropped to 10th, but they're only 3 points away from the top 4. As for Marseille versus Bordeaux, another game we talked about, if you haven't seen the goal Yassine Adli scored, I recommend looking after this podcast and searching up on YouTube. He's a midfielder, I believe.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure. It was an unbelievable goal. I'm pretty sure he took it on from about 35 yards out.
I might be thinking of the right back that plays for
Are you thinking
Nice.
of Ali?
Yeah,
I'm
just
playing
checked.
the right back that plays for Nice.
Oh, Atal.
Atal.
That's what I'm thinking
He's
of.
out for the rest of the season, I believe, by the way, Atal.
Rest in peace, Atal.
Which is a shame. But, Yassine Adli.
Yassine Atal.
Getting me mixed up now. Yassine Adli's wonder goal was not enough to give his side the victory in a game where Bordeaux only had 3 shots to Marseille's 25. Goals from Amavi, Sanson and Radonjic, which is very true, probably was like Football Manager, means Marseille stay in second and extend their gap between themselves and third place Lille to 6 points. Bordeaux do drop to 5th, however they're only 1 point away from the European spots. Andre Villas-Boas is doing an incredible job at Marseille.
Yes. No, I completely agree.
Considering the financial fair play restrictions they've had.
I've got to admit, as I think the Bundesliga isn't your league. Ligue 1's not my league. I prefer the Serie A. I'm watching the Bundesliga as well. But do you know what we were talking about? Celtic and Rangers not having a tough game week in, week out. Ligue 1's another league like that.
I
for
agree.
Me
I thoroughly agree.
You see Lille.
I don't. I disagree. For PSG, I agree with that point. For the rest of the teams in the league, I don't.
Well, I thought you look at Lille and how well they did last year. They've come into the Champions League and they've been the whipping boys.
They have. They
They've
were
been
awful yesterday.
They're just not ready and they're not at that elite level. Whereas in the...
I mean, if you've still got Loic Remy up front, you need to question what you're doing.
He scored.
He did.
Back
He
off.
scored. He did.
Back off. He scored.
I know you've got a soft spot for Loic Remy, Josh, but...
I do. I love Loic Remy. I've got posters of Loic Remy in my room.
But yeah, I think that is an issue with Ligue 1 at the moment is it feels like a very top-heavy league.
I agree in that sense for
PSG.
For just European competition in
agree
general,
with you.
because I think one of the only sides that's got through to the next round of both the Champions League and the Europa League is Lyon, and they only just did that last night, getting a 2-2 draw against Leipzig.
They had to come back from 2-0 down as
yeah.
well. At least they showed heart.
And
Had them on a bet.
for PSG, to be fair, it's a case week in, week out. We just go to teams and just batter them. That's the usual. But for teams like Lyon and Lille, I do think the teams that they play are very similar in reputation and style. But for PSG, I will agree with you in that sense. Week in, week out, it's simple.
I just don't think it's fun to watch.
Do you not?
Over a season, I just think that who's
I
going to
think
win.
it's good.
You know who's going to win already.
I think
It's like watching. It's like having the Premier League spoiled for you and then watching it play out.
I was going to say, do you think, for example, we look at the top 5 leagues? Do you always think it's the forgotten league?
Yes.
Because I do personally.
I'll agree with you in that sense. Yeah, it's the lowest in reputation in terms of people talking about it.
Do you think that's because of PSG? I don't want to say PSG have ruined it, but do you think because they are so dominant, people just kind of turn a blind eye
the golfing
to
class?
The golfing class, because of these players that are coming over, and you think, oh, we can do it easily over there, but you can't do it here. Like, for example, Nicolas Pepe. That's my main.
He scored. Back off. You commented on Remy now. You're trying to take out Pepe.
I mean,
I'm not having it.
A couple of weeks ago, I watched the Olympique Marseille versus Olympique Lyon derby, and it's games like that where I look back and I think, well, Ligue 1's not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. That game was incredible.
Maybe it isn't.
There was flares going off. It did get called off for a little bit because you couldn't see anything that was going on, but there are certain games where you look back at it and you think, do you know what? It's not a bad league. If PSG weren't as dominant, for example, the season where Monaco went head-to-head with them, which is a shame that Monaco just, quite frankly, have just fallen off a cliff.
I mean, it's not their fault.
I was going to say, it's not fair.
They lost all their players.
I was going to say, after they won the league, only 2 of them survived.
Yeah.
Did they get rid of Mbappe, Bakayoko,
Fabinho left,
Falcao,
Tielemans,
Sidibe now.
Yeah, and now it's Cesc Fabregas and Adrian Silva.
No,
they're missing Sidibe, aren't they?
No, because they've just got Glick. They've still got Glick.
Subasic as well.
And Subasic
still going.
Imagine them two as a centre-back partnership with speed.
But Subasic is a goalkeeper.
Ooh, Subotic, I'm thinking of Subotic. Oh my God, I'm thinking of Subotic.
I don't think they'd be a very good centre-back partnership.
Close enough, but that is the weekend fixture results we talked about. We will go a little bit later on into the weekly, the weekend roundup of games, which, quite funnily enough, I realised when I looked at all the games, they're all on a Sunday. There really weren't any standout games on Saturday or Friday, to be honest.
Did you not check Friday?
I did, there wasn't.
Yeah, no, there is.
What is it?
Hull away at Charlton.
Oh, well, that's irrelevant.
Oh, that's a low blow.
Did anyone see that
I
dagger?
had to get that one in.
Daggers.
We could talk about
Kieran's
that one if you want. But the topic that I've chosen for this week is a little bit different to what we usually do. We pick out a news piece and we just kind of talk about what's going on. But yesterday on TalkSport, there was a massive debate. Get my words right. There was a massive debate between AFTV host Robbie Lal and the former owner of Crystal Palace, Simon Jordan. Now, this has been a feud that's been going on for quite a while between both these men and their kind of businesses and things. We all know Arsenal Fan TV. Their reputation is known within the football community for creating match reports, different news stories, and having fan reactions.
They're a bit of a meme, aren't they?
Yeah, to put it nicely. Now, Simon Jordan basically kind of came out and said that Arsenal Fan TV, or as they're now called AFTV, are a hindrance to football. They're damaging the reputation of a club like Arsenal. Robbie made a video for Arsenal Fan TV, basically replying saying that Simon is a dinosaur and that he was a failed owner of Palace and he shouldn't really be talking about football when he can't run a football club properly, which was quite funny to listen to. But I've put down a couple of notes. I think it'll be interesting to have a debate here about fan channels.
But what if we've got the same opinion?
Well, I'm going to be the type of person that comes in and is the devil on the shoulder.
Are you telling me you're the Robbie of the Top Corner podcast?
The question I've put, are fan channels a hindrance to football or are they valuable to the game? Because it's not just Arsenal Fan TV that runs fan channels.
I was going to say, just put your, if there are people in here, put opinions in the comments.
Yeah,
as well,
I'd be interested to see what people think.
To get it swirling.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to say what I want to say?
I was going to quickly say, I've
let Josh say what he's going to say.
I've put down, obviously, AFTV is the most reputable of the channels.
Excuse me?
I've put down a couple of other ones. So there's Redmen TV, which a lot of people will know. It's another fan channel. It's home to 400,000 subscribers. Produces top quality content around Liverpool Football Club. Of course, there's the United Stand, which has got 600,000 subscribers and is specifically dedicated to Manchester United. It's more known for the comedy aspect of the legend that is Mark Goldbridge. We all know and love him. And does anybody follow that Twitter page that's specifically
Goldbridge
dedicated?
World.
Yeah,
Oh, I love
it's
it.
beautiful. And then I've put down another channel, which is West Ham Fan TV. It's a smaller channel in size. It's got 50,000 subscribers, but still produces similar top quality videos for the West Ham community. The questions I've put on the table: are the fan channels a hindrance to the game? Do they cash in on the negatives of football, mainly AFTV? Are they changing the game for places like TalkSport and Sky? And where do fan channels go in terms of content in the future? Who'd like to start?
Should we go question by question?
Yeah,
Right.
let's start with the
'Cause
first question.
We'll start question by question, and we'll go in a round table
Right.
discussion.
Are
in-
fan channels a hindrance to the game?
No, because it gives fans a voice, and if I'm a fan that can't go to a game, I would always like to see what the atmosphere was there coming out and what the fans want to say to the. In terms of fan cams, anyway, I know the United Stand. I watch that every week, after a Man United game. I like to see Flex and Rants, who run the channel, and Matt Goldbridge. I like to see what they think of the game, because Matt Goldbridge, as a Manchester United fan, is quite respectable, and everyone thinks, well, not everyone thinks, but his opinion is held quite highly, and he has some reliable sources for, especially transfer rumours in the summer. He predicted all 3 of those players to come to Man United. And I think that the fan channels are not a hindrance. It's the fact that the people take them from the social media and, like you say, meme them. That's what the problem is. It's not the people. It's just social media as a whole is the problem. That's the problem.
I will say I have got a lot of respect for Mark Goldbridge. I think when he started out, he was seen as more of a meme, and now it's at a point where I do.
He's just a funny guy. That's the thing. He's just a funny guy.
He's just
That's
naturally
why everyone
funny
loves
in
him.
a good way, and I think now people actually do have a lot of respect.
But also in
for
terms of
Goldbridge.
Arsenal Fan TV, I have a lot of respect for what Robbie's done, because the people that go on Arsenal Fan TV they're not meaning to be like memed like troops, and that's just how they are. Do you know what I mean?
I agree to an extent.
Go
However,
on.
I do think, for example, pro wrestlers always say their character is an exaggeration of themselves.
It's a good point.
And I think DT and Troops, as they are like that in real life, they're a slightly exaggerated, over-the-top version. Like, I mean, let's be fair. What I think these fan channels are great because, for me, I agree. I think they give you that side to the game. Because when you watch Sky and you watch TalkSport, you get a professional's opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
You always get an ex-player's opinion who will look at it different to a man who pays money week in, week out to go and watch their team. Arsenal season tickets are not cheap. They are the most expensive.
I mean, season
in the
tickets
league.
in general just aren't cheap for Premier League
Oh, yeah.
football
They're
teams.
ridiculously priced
But
for Premier League sides.
But Arsenal's, I think, are the highest. I'm pretty sure.
Why? Imagine going in week out to watch them.
Don't know. That's why it's a library. But if you pay your hard-earned money, you should be able to say what the hell you want. Not right. Okay, I'm gonna promise that. Nothing racist, nothing homophobic.
No.
Just negative comments you can say about the team and your opinion. So for me, it was a breath of fresh air when these came along, because they always like to say they were by the fans for the fans. Yeah, AFTV have changed it a little bit because I don't think they obviously realise not all million people are Arsenal fans.
Oh no.
I'm not an Arsenal fan. Yeah, I'm subscribed.
So am I. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'm
'Cause
subscribed.
Let's be fair. We subscribe to watch the meltdowns after
Oh,
they
I
lose.
do, yeah, I love to see
exactly.
Arsenal
Yeah, I
meltdown.
think that's why the majority of people follow, because whenever Arsenal lose, the first thing you think in your head is, right, I'm interested to know what
I mean,
DT or
what
a
Troops
Claude
is
say.
saying.
Exactly. We don't. Do you watch Arsenal Fan TV when they win?
Yes.
I
Yes.
do, yeah,
Yeah.
as well.
I do as well.
But I agree, because you look in the change of views from a brackets rant video, which again, I understand in that part, that's exploiting the fact that open this video and you'll see one of them typical rants you see all the
Yeah.
time. That I understand that point, but they're making a living off this now. So it's just like a YouTuber making a FIFA gone wrong, gone sexual, all stuff like that that people are going to click on just because it's got it in the title.
Yeah.
So I think where it comes into it, I think I forgot what point I was on. I'm not
you-
gonna lie.
you-
I'm lost.
Imagine
You were
that,
saying
like,
about how people kind of just watch the channels when they lose and the views go down when they win.
Yeah, so they're changing. I think you look at after a win, I think it maybe reaches 100k,
but still,
but when they lose, it reaches like 1 million.
yeah, because everyone, like Josh said, everyone likes to see the meltdown. But in terms of Robbie and DT and Troops, they don't want their team to lose. Like there was that video, that video rolling around with saying like, because when they lost in Champions League final, like, oh, we got this many viewers and so it's how much money we're gonna make. They don't want their team to lose because at the end of the day, they're fans of the club. They're fans of football. It's like Mark Goldbridge wanting Man United to lose, but he doesn't want Man United to lose. Just because he'll get more views from it, don't mean he wants Man United to lose. You know what I mean?
Well, I've put the next question. It comes very on to your point, what you were saying before about how people watch when they win and watch when they lose and don't watch when they win. Specifically, I'm saying this about Arsenal Fan TV. Do they cash in on the negatives of football? And what I mean by that is, has Arsenal Fan TV been made directly for when they lose? Because you're seeing the slump of Arsenal over the recent couple of years under Wenger and Emery. And when did Arsenal Fan TV start? It was a couple of years ago, wasn't it, when it started out?
2015.
2015.
No idea.
Which was at the point when things were in a bit pear-shaped.
Maybe 2014.
I'm just going to check. Make sure we get things right on here. Arsenal Fan TV started in 2012.
Wow.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
I mean, they were all right back then.
Yeah, they weren't too bad back then, but they got their reputation
It's like
over the last couple of years.
like full-time Devils. They got their reputation because of what Andy Tate. Do you know when he came on
Yes,
and went,
yes, yeah.
"You're a fool. You're a waste of time. Good night." That stuff.
Yeah.
No,
That's what that clip was memed and it was everywhere. That's what circulated a lot of subscribers for them at that time. I know they've been around for quite a while and you've not put them down on here for some reason. Rude.
No, sorry, I just put 3 down.
But yeah, I don't think they're cashing on the negatives. But if you put here changing the game for places like TalkSport and Sky, they are, because more of these fans are going on TalkSport and Sky. I feel like in terms of TalkSport, they're trying to become a little more directed towards that sort of audience. Because they're getting Robbie on, who obviously had the rant with
he made
Sam Jordan.
a very great point yesterday and basically said, I am sat here talking to you about my fan channel when you, TalkSport, have fans that come on and do the exact same thing as we do. So, for example, he was saying about West Ham United, how they're in a torrid run of form right now, and Jim White was basically saying, so, West Ham fans, should Pellegrini be sacked? Call in now and give us your answers. It's like TalkSport themselves are driving that opinion of, Pellegrini should be sacked, which Arsenal Fan TV aren't going to fans and going, well, should Lundberg be sacked? They're just asking for honest opinions.
You see it, don't you? You see someone will say one thing, another person will say another thing. That is fan opinion.
Oh, exactly.
End of the day.
Well, and for anybody in the who's watching, by the way, if you do have your own opinion or any questions about it, do feel free to put them down and we'll read anything that you put out because we're interested to know what's people's opinions on this topic.
I agree with a slight thing that do they cash in on the negatives? They don't. But what they do is they give a platform to voice opinions and criticisms. That's what I'd say. Because, let's be fair, if Arsenal Fan TV wasn't as big as it was, you've seen the amount of... You've seen the banners that they had when Wenger was there, but you've seen every week in, week out, fans will come on, they'll voice what they're angry with. Most of the time it's the board, but then it's the manager, and it's sometimes the players as well, and they've not just got the negatives, they do produce other content, like I think they've got an hour-long podcast.
They have Kevin Campbell's show.
Brothers, with all the other fan channels.
The Biased Premier League show, you know, they don't just create content. Because if they did that, then they'd just go compilation of all our rants.
Yeah.
No, because they don't want to do that, because they don't want to lose.
The reason why I put Red Men TV down on there is I'm a massive fan of watching Red Men TV. I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I absolutely love it. Red Men TV takes on a very different approach, and rather than doing a lot of fan reactions, they tend to do player ratings outside of Anfield. And they'll do a lot of shows. One's called The Final Word. So what they'll do is at the end of every match that Liverpool have played, they'll do an hour-long show where they're sat in a studio and they talk about what's gone on. And they always have regular guests that go on each week. And I really like the format. It's very television-like in a sense.
To be fair, though, they've got nothing to be negative about, so
No.
they're fine.
No,
Yeah.
but
They had
I
one
guess
game that they've not
Redmen
won.
TV started out even when they were before Klopp.
Yeah.
So the days before that, if Redmen TV went down a very similar path in the past when they had the torrid run, well, they didn't have a torrid run with Brendan Rodgers, but as Brendan Rodgers' form was dropping off, Redmen TV could have easily gone the same way. Do you know what I mean? In terms of negative results, getting the views and boosting them up. And I really like how they've done it in kind of a television format style way.
You've got to think you've got to be different because, for example, these teams that have all got these fan channels can only get a base amount of subscribers from fans of that club. Whereas people like us, who none of us are Arsenal fans, you're not a Liverpool fan, yet you subscribe for a certain type of content. We subscribe to AFTV because, let's be fair, we love a rant.
We do.
To be fair, I watch the Bias Premier League show and stuff like that as well, so
Same.
maybe that's me being me.
Maybe you just like to see troops.
Yeah, that's it. I love a ham roll.
Who got ham roll of the week this week, Josh?
Quite funnily enough, Simon Jordan.
But yeah, so we watch them for all, so you can only have a foundation of your fans. Because I'll be honest, not all million of them are Arsenal fans, not a chance. So that's, for example, with Redmen TV, they'll have a base of Liverpool fans and other people that subscribe for top quality content based on Liverpool. They might not support them, they just want to know all about them. Same with the United stand and stuff like that. You'll have a set about United fans and people just want to watch Goldbridge because he's funny. Yeah. And then West Ham, to a smaller extent, I think they are all West Ham fans.
I do want to make a very important point, though. It's the generation of people that are watching Arsenal fan TV. The debate that they had last night was Robbie Lyle, Simon Jordan, Jim White, and there was somebody else in there.
Jim White.
You've got to think to yourself, think of the age of the people that were kind of talking about the problem. Simon Jordan's, I think he's in his mid-40s. Robbie's getting on himself. While for us,
aging Robbie,
Robbie, he's getting on. He'll be retiring soon. But for us, we're a younger generation of people, and for people like us, Arsenal fan TV is going to get a very similar demographic to our age. They're going to get people of the age of 18, and they're going to get the younger ones as well that see the memes. You see the pictures of Robbie with the boxing gloves on, and you see that. It's funny. It's little things like that. And it's same with United stand as well. Mark Goldbridge, there's the account Goldbridge World, specifically dedicated to things that Mark Goldbridge says, and it's a fantastic account. But the demographic is an important part to these fan channels.
Well, yeah, because I think with the way the world's changing now, these short 4-minute videos outside the ground are so much easier to consume as a younger viewer than a post-match punditry from Gary Neville and Carragher an hour long about the game saying, look at that movement he made in behind there.
I watched that.
Yeah, no, but again, it's different types. It's different types of people. So people
Me and Josh love Gary Neville.
People who are so passionate about the game and want to learn about the game will watch the punditry and the top quality content that Sky provide. However, if you're a younger person, wants to know about the result, wants to know how the players played, and wants that 4-minute video of someone else's opinion that, let's be fair, they trust DT's opinion, they trust Troops' opinion, so they will watch them and they will take in what they say. And it's much easier to do that in 4.5 minutes than an hour long where he's told you he's made a running behind.
I'm going to say a great example. Sorry to jump in.
Wow.
Sorry, my bad.
He pointed and everything. He was
I was getting.
He was ready to make the point. Graham from Arsenal Fan TV is a perfect description of what you're saying there. You know how you've got your Carragher's and your Nevilles. Graham has his own dedicated show, the tactical. Is it tactical
breakdown or
something like breakdown or insight show? And more people will probably watch that sometimes than the Sky Sports one.
Yeah.
Just because sometimes the Sky Sports will put up like 20-minute videos, which Graham's is the same, but it's always broken down into little parts. So it'd be like, right, I'll talk about Arsenal first, then I'll talk about a Leicester type situation.
And if you look at that, though, I bet the views are completely different from that to a rant again. So
yeah, in fact,
they get a negative rap because more people watch it. I don't think when they created this channel they intended for more people to watch the rants than the other stuff. It's just the way it goes because people like to see the world burn. in a polite. People
yeah,
like
people
negativity.
like misery.
Well, if you look in the news, how much news is negativity?
90%.
Exactly.
In fact, it's always negative, and the last story is, and this is something positive.
Exactly, because what gets you sales? Negativity. Because people, I don't know why people want to be unhappy. I don't know.
So to give you an idea of the comparison of the viewing figures that Arsenal Fan TV get, I'm going back here to when Arsenal got a 2-2 draw against Southampton, because that was the last time Graham put a tactical insight show up.
Go on, Graham.
So if I can find where Claude is, for example.
Go on, Claude.
Claude
Time to go.
got 390,000 views for his rant about Emery, how he didn't want him anymore. The tactical insight show only got 82,000 views in comparison.
Exactly, because people tune in for negativity.
personality.
But
And
then
That's
we
the
can't
only
have a
thing.
go at these
No.
and AFTV and not have a go at the Daily Mail, the Sun, the Daily Express, all this stuff that just put bad news for 90% of their paper, and no one ever goes, God, put some positive news on.
Well,
there.
you think about the
you're preying on the
negativity of
negatives.
Raheem Sterling, all the
Exactly,
news stories that were made up
exactly.
about Sterling. You think to yourself, well, how can a player get confidence when he's seen his own face at the back of a newspaper saying stuff like he's bought his mum a new car?
He don't help
Well,
himself.
surely that should be a positive thing, he's buying his mum's a new car, but somehow they make it a negative.
Can I just touch on Raheem still in a second?
Yeah, of course you can.
Something I watched the Manchester Derby at the weekend, and something really got under my skin. He's supposed to be the poster boy for racism. So when those fans were throwing lighters at Jesse Lingard and Fred, why did Raheem Sterling just stand there and do nothing? And he could see them being racist, because De Bruyne and Fernandinho went over to...
David Silva was the one that was going like...
Yeah, David
Stop.
Silva, Kevin De Bruyne did it as well. They went over and they said stop. And there's videos circulating of that guy who's got arrested now
Good.
for doing the monkey chant at Fred. And I mean, Raheem Sterling, the poster boy for let's stop being racist, didn't he come out and say 9-point deduction for
Yep.
teams?
He did, yeah.
Right, well, City should be in 6th place then, in that case.
No, I completely agree.
And it just really got under my skin, because he can't complain about that and then do nothing about it if it's there in front of him.
The
Do you know what I mean?
The
Sorry.
same week that all of us were going, what they did in Italy with the newspaper, that's outrageous.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
outrageous. And then we don't have that over here. And then over here, he's doing monkey chants, they're throwing lighters at them. Maybe it was just because the United players, and maybe it was just, maybe it was just because they were the two people that were over there at the time. Because I remember
Yeah.
Ferdinand, even though he is
He got hit with the
slightly
the coin,
darker
didn't he, in
ethnicity. He
his
got hit
head.
with
Yeah.
the coin. I don't think that was because he was the colour he was. I think it was just.
No, it's just because of his blood from
I think they were throwing lighters just because they were angry, and
Yeah.
I don't think it was that. It was that man at the front that took it too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of the next question, about the changing the media game for places like TalkSport and Sky, it is now getting to a point where places like TalkSport and Sky are collaborating
Yep.
with fan channels. For example, Redmen TV have done quite a lot with Sky in the past. In fact, you can even look at it. They're collaborating with clubs as well, because Redmen TV, once again, they've done interviews with Klopp and a couple of the players. And for example, the host, Paul Machin, Chris Pajak, they tend to do different events. So I'm pretty sure Paul Machin once hosted a PES tournament, was asked by PES to host the whole thing,
That's
which is PES, but...
Scott McTominay's on the cover of PES.
But
skateboarding.
Is it now? Is it now time for media companies like TalkSport and Sky to change the game themselves? Have they got to adapt to what Arsenal Fan TV and Redmen TV doing, or is it the
No.
opposite way round? Have
No,
those
they
fan
just-
channels got to adapt to what
No,
Sky
They
did?
just got to keep doing what they're doing.
Neither.
Just stay away. Yeah.
Both of them stay in parallel
Yes,
lines, just
yes.
away from each
Agreed.
Do you think it's a risk if they both start
other.
interlinking together?
No,
No,
it's
there's
not
a
a risk,
there's a
but-
market for both, and they don't need
Yeah.
to be put together. You
There's
know,
a reason why they haven't
sausages
been...
and ice cream, they're
Yes,
great
yes.
in different places.
It's a very
Agreed.
bizarre analogy. It's not.
I personally love that analogy.
Thank
You
you.
should have heard Rowan's analogy on the bite-sized one.
What did he say?
said,
I think
it
I
was
heard
about
this.
Manchester United. I think it was about
Was it the Quality
Street.
Street? Yeah, I heard it, yeah,
It was
yeah.
brilliant.
Right,
Right.
Quality Street and Heroes. The
No,
great.
I'm not being funny.
William
but
has
whoever
just
likes,
put
whoever likes
a
a green triangle. Who
Oh.
thinks the green triangle is the best?
I love a green triangle.
Williams
Who's
just
got the
put a
best,
comment
though?
in.
It's not the best.
Williams put McTominay grinding rails on his skateboard.
Love to see it.
But
Love to see
the
it.
the last question that I've kind of put on the table,
McTominay
is,
pro skater.
where do
Scott
fan
McTominay, I'll
channels
tell
go
you.
in terms of content in the future?
Don't fix it if it's not broken.
No,
Stick with what
yeah,
you're
they're
Do
doing.
they,
doing alright. I
do they
think
need
with
to
what you do.
stay on
Same
what they're
thing.
doing, or do they need to,
No,
as I
it's
said
the same
before, do they
thing.
need to adapt?
Football will always be the same.
I was
It'll
about
always
to-
be about opinion and that's why fan channels will stay
I was
around.
about to say no. I completely
It's
agree.
just
I just don't think they need to change yet. Maybe
No.
in the coming years, the rants don't get the views, the bias show doesn't get the views.
the reason why I put this up as the debate topic is it was really interesting listening to the TalkSport debate. It was heated, and to be honest, to put it nicely, it was crap because it was just Robbie being battered by Simon
Which is unfair.
and Jim, which was not fair. It needed to be
The
both
dinosaurs.
sides. It was kind of Simon going, Robbie, I'm talking, so shut up. But then whenever Robbie would talk, Simon would just butt in. It was like, well, this is how a debate shouldn't be.
I mean, they're adults at the end
Yeah,
of the day.
exactly. The reason why I put this down is I was thinking last night as I wrote the questions down. You don't see a Fiorentina fan TV. You don't see a Mainz fan TV. You
So-
don't see a Juventus fan TV.
There might be,
It's a
but
good
there
bloody
might
job you don't
be,
see it in Italy, I tell you.
But that's
There'd
the
be-
thing. It'd be a bit worrying.
You
but
thought it was bad
Roma
in-
fan
I was gonna say,
TV.
you thought it was bad
Fan-
inside the stadium.
fan TV channels only seem to be done for English leagues. And it interests me because you'd think to yourself, maybe there is a market in Italy, and maybe I've not done enough research, and there is Juventus fan channels and that, but there's a very lack of fan channels
I just
abroad.
think they're
and it's-
behind the times.
It's interesting because you think there's a market there for those clubs to exploit, for fans to exploit, but no one ever seems to do it. And it interests me as to why.
They don't need it.
no, they
I don't think they need it. To be honest, I don't think Arsenal need it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Then, if we're going by that logic, surely an Arsenal or Man United don't need it.
Well, we don't. Let's be fair. We could all live our
No.
lives happily without them.
Oh, easily.
You sure?
This
I
is-
like seeing troops on a Saturday night.
This is the thing. They don't know what they need till it's been created. They
No.
might. I'm sure there's plenty of Juventus fans in that stadium that want to voice their opinions after the game, and they go to a restaurant with their friend and they talk 2 hours about how the game could have gone differently. We've all done it when we've been to a game, and then the drive home from the game is talking about the game we've just watched. Then we'll go home and watch the highlights
Unless
of
you
the
get
game.
mad.
Well, the highlights of the game we've just watched. So over in Italy, Bundesliga, Liga, they'll all have an opinion. It's just they don't have a place.
I
to put
have
it.
found buying fan TV.
Yes!
However, there's a slight problem. It's
Oh.
not. There's only one person ever on it.
Oh.
2,000
So-
subscribers.
He's got just under 3,000 subscribers. He's not uploaded in a month, which was coincidentally when Bayern beat Dortmund 4-0, and after that they didn't win, which is a bit coincidental in my opinion.
Reactionary fan.
But it's just interesting that there's a lack of people abroad doing stuff like that, because I know they're not all going to be called fan TV.
That also might not be a
Juventus.
Italian football TV.
But Italian football TV is probably the closest that you get in terms of kind of fan reactions.
Yeah.
So it's all Juventus to me.
I just don't think it's required
No.
over abroad. I think unless it happens by chance, like unless one of them makes fan channel and it blows up, then I think other teams. I think it's literally what happened here. I think Arsenal fan TV blew up, and then they kind of went, "There's a market for our fans. I want to give our fans an opinion. Because even if you look up and down England, you've only listed 4. How many
There's-
teams in the Premier League has a fan channel?
Chelsea's got one.
Everton,
haven't they?
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Toffee
United.
TV, yeah, for
I
Everton.
don't know if Tottenham have one.
No,
The Man City have one. No, they don't have any fans anyway, so.
wow,
Let's have a look.
wowzers.
No,
No,
I've
you're right.
lost all respect for Manchester City.
No,
After
I'm
Saturday.
pretty
I
sure
never had any, so
wasn't
it's
the
fine.
Blue Moon Rising for
Well, the Blue
Man
Moon's falling
City.
now.
oh
Yeah, but they tried to get fans on it, realised it was an empty stadium.
yeah,
so
there,
they
there
didn't bother.
was
Empty,
there
but it was
was a
awful.
Manchester City fan channel 2 years ago. but
Yeah.
they
Oh, when they won the
stopped.
league.
Quite coincidentally, they didn't upload anything after that. Well, they uploaded 7 months ago Manchester Derby preview, and after that never uploaded again, which is I'm pretty sure when you lot won it. I think.
No, we lost 3.
Did you? They never uploaded again.
No, it was 2-0. It was 2-0.
Well, so, right. On the thing, why haven't they tapped into it abroad? Well, let's be fair, half of England still's not tapped into it, really.
No,
There's
but,
only 5 or 6.
I mean, you need fans to have a fan channel. And in Man City's case, you don't have any fans.
But
So-
then it's
well,
you think to yourself then, I'm just going to quickly check just to make sure. We said about Spurs. Spurs are a big club at the end of the day. Let's
Are they?
be real. Well,
yeah, no.
in the sense of things, they're a big club. Spurs fan
Yeah.
TV. Let me have a look. There's one here called We Are Tottenham TV. Although I'm just going to make sure does it still load? It does.
34K subscribers.
Yeah, so there is a Tottenham fan TV channel.
The last upload was 16 hours ago, so
So
they must be active.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tottenham 5 billion. There is a Spurs fan channel.
Still though, outside the top 6 or 7,
Do
there's
Leicester have one? Just
are we just going to name teams?
We're just going to go through every
Will you
single
just
team.
check if Yeovil have a fan channel for me, please?
Solihull Moors, do they have one?
Not after the game that they
Well,
won.
to be fair, Blue Van Man is usually the rep for Leicester, isn't it? To be honest, but there's a website.
Oh,
There's a website
Well,
called Leicester
well.
Fan TV, but
Ian Atcho's on there as well.
I think we all come to the agreement that they're not causing any problems. There's no
No.
crisis with having a fan channel.
The problem is that the media, like TalkSport and Sky, want to make it seem like there is a problem with these fan channels, especially in terms of Simon Jordan getting Robbie on. They want to make it seem like these fan channels are a problem, but they're not. It's a platform for fans to stage their opinion, and
They want to
so what I
tarnish
say.
what viewers that have moved over there from TalkSport.
I think that's the fear. I think let's take
It's bitterness.
ever since 2012 when Arsenal Fan TV were made, and other channels like United Stand, West Ham, Toffee TV, and other ones like that. I like Toffee TV. It's really
like
good.
a sweet shop.
Ped's really good. I like Ped.
Do you know what happens on Toffee TV?
The
Are the green triangles
It's-
the best
it's-
quality?
Are the quality streets good or not?
It's good though because
Werther's original or quality streets?
Toffee TV is the Everton one. They used to do a lot of videos with Redmen TV, so that's where a lot of their subscribers came from.
Yeah.
I do like. I'm not gonna. It sounds bad, but I do watch Toffee TV. I really do like it.
Josh is a fan
Ped's
channel
quite,
enthusiast.
Ped's quite funny. Quick questions being asked. Ben's put, Kieran, when are you coming back up to see Rangers?
Oh, when will I be back up to see the Rangers?
Now he's coming up now.
Yeah, he's
coming
going
up
now. He's going now.
He's on his way.
Yeah, my train's in 2 minutes.
You might want to move a bit quicker.
I can imagine it might come up in the summer.
In the summer.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Maybe the summer, because whenever we leave uni, really, because I might have to sort out the house and stuff like that.
April,
so
I think it is. I think it's April we break up.
But
Yeah, probably that time. But then again, we've got to sort the house out as well. So
I've
next summer.
who knows?
Sometime in the future.
But I don't think, as I said, fan channel's not a hindrance. And for what I was saying before, Toffee TV, they did a lot of work with Redmen TV, so they've got a lot of subscribers from that. And it's the merging of different fan channels, because as you said before, there's now the football league that they've got to the fan channels.
Blood Brothers.
Brothers.
Well, no, if you look at AFTV, to be fair, when it's them versus Chelsea, they do a lot of thing with I can't remember what it's Blue Men TV, I think they're called. And then
Is it just Chelsea Fan TV?
Could
Sophie Rose is on there, isn't she?
could be either or.
Might do
But
she's and everything.
it's like when Arsenal with Tottenham, they go and see. I think is he called Flex or so? I don't know what he's called. The Tottenham fan. Expressions. There you go, and they kind of collaborate with him.
It was like last night. Monday night when Arsenal beat West Ham. West Ham Fan TV went on Arsenal's channel.
When all
do,
United
post-match
Stand
reaction.
get AFTV on when they play as well.
Yeah,
But what I do worry
they all
about,
work together,
They
and
do.
it's
Well,
nice.
you say that, but what I do worry about is when these derbies do happen and they see AFTV, and I remember they had to move away. I think they were at the Tottenham ground, and police had to move them to a different street because fans were just so volatile. Because that's what they do. And that's the only worry I can see with these fan channels.
Yeah.
Fans that take it too far in the City game, throwing lighters at players, if they threw lighters at Robbie because he's doing a bloody interview, like, come on.
Do you
It's a
think
good point, to
then,
be fair.
in the terms of AFTV, do you think they're causing problems like that?
No.
You see
I think it's just the fans.
for the fan marches, for example, when Arsene Wenger was heading towards the door and they were having marches and protests. Do you think that was partly down to AFTV?
No.
I don't think it was. I know DT was a big advocate, so maybe when they were interviewing, he went, "Oh, this march is happening at this time,
But
That I don't agree with. But because they've built up such following themselves, you've got DT's own channel now. Troops has
Yeah.
got his own channel now.
Yeah.
It has created opportunities for people, personalities that fans can have an affinity towards, like a DT and a Troops, that can create their own career from
I
it
don't
now.
think
But
10 years ago, DT, I'm pretty sure, was a DJ, and he would have never expected
Still
to.
is.
Still
Well,
is.
he still
DJ.
does DJ.
You
He
not
has
seen
Blood
Blood
Brothers.
To be fair,
Spinning decks.
he does it quite a bit on Periscope, doesn't he? Sometimes he'll just be there in the club bopping along to what song he's got on. But I think if you'd have asked him 10 years ago that he'd be one of the star names on a fan channel, he would have probably said nah.
I mean, in terms of just going back to what we said about those fans, especially, I don't think it's not necessarily Robbie's fault, but it's just the fans that are just stuck in the olden times, like that bloke that were doing the monkey chant.
Yeah.
They're just idiots.
No,
I just found it so funny what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer goes, some not so intelligent fella, and I'm watching it, I'm thinking, go on, Ollie lad.
But I think we're all in agreement to wrap the debate up.
Yeah.
That fan channels are not hindrance,
No.
I was
and
about
that
to
they're a
say-
good thing.
No, they're not.
I think it's a clean sweep here.
The issue is companies like TalkSport and Sky having a problem with these fan channels because they see it as a potential risk to their
They obviously
market.
see it as competition.
Yeah, exactly.
Creating
But then
something
it's
out of
the
nothing.
equivalent of a supermarket, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's the equivalent of a KFC and a McDonald's. They're both they're both serving food, but they're both going to clash against each
I was
other.
going to say, have you seen the? I don't know if it was over here, but the Subway advert where they're talking about how much choice they have, and they staged an advert where the king from Burger King was coming in and ransacking along with the Colonel. Have you seen it?
No.
Along
I'm
with
not
Ronald
gonna lie, I
McDonald.
haven't.
Oh, isn't it? I think it might have just been in America, but basically they're shooting an advert for Subway, and Ronald McDonald comes in with a bag on his head, and they're going, "You can't give people this much choice."
This is a football podcast, by the way.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So basically, the way Subway attacked
Oh yeah.
Burger King, KFC, etc., is the same way that TalkSport attacked. They did it in a more comedic
I feel
way
like
compared to that.
when Arsenal kick off at 3:00, or especially when they're at home, the videos tend to come out about 5:30. That's when the roundup for the games is on, especially on TalkSport and Sky. So that's probably drawing viewers away from those channels
Yeah.
and towards Arsenal fans.
Which
That's
is
probably what the problem
what
is
you
with
both
TalkSport
said
and
before.
Sky.
For example, when Arsenal do lose, the first thing a lot of people put, even on Arsenal's Twitter page, when Arsenal have just put they've lost
Can't wait for AFTV
to Norwich,
tonight.
exactly. The top comment is ready for AFTV, and it's like, well, same here.
It is. That's what the thing is, though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will be drawn away from if you're listening to it on the radio because you can't watch the game live at 3:00,
but
which I think is a big problem, by the way.
But the thing is, what does TalkSport and expect Robbie to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Miss a week and go, well, we lost last week, and we know that no one likes a rant.
I just felt sorry for TalkSport, so they can have all our viewers
Yeah.
this week.
Exactly. They just want fans. Because let's be fair though, TalkSport, they're reviewing every single game. They
Yeah,
might only give
exactly.
Arsenal 5 minutes
It
in
is
an
true.
hour-long
But
program.
what I said, it's similar to AFTV, probably if not kind of worse. Arsenal fan TV aren't putting out a video after a match and going, right then, we've just lost to, we just got a draw against Southampton, for example. Should Unai Emery be sacked? Come and talk to us. Come to me and talk about Unai Emery getting sacked.
I
They're
mean,
not
he just goes,
forcing
like,
the point.
people come to him, don't
Yeah,
they?
they
He
come
doesn't
to
say, he doesn't stand up with his arms out saying, yeah, come
He
over here and
doesn't
talk
say
to me.
anyone before a video, right, you must talk about Unai
Yeah.
Emery
Yeah,
getting sacked.
a
While
lot-
TalkSport are literally going, right, come on our show, tell us what you think, should Pellegrini get sacked? They're asking, they're taking a
Yes, he
point
should, by the
and
way.
they're making it as the starting point
Yeah.
for a debate.
It is.
Well, and it never is a debate because to be honest,
No.
you're going to get a West Ham fan that's going to come on right now and say, well, Pellegrini's rubbish, we want
Yeah.
him out. So I think in a sense of things, you can say TalkSport are much worse
I think
than a fan channel.
I think Sky are not that bad because they obviously
No.
don't have a live radio show. Well, yeah, I don't think Sky are as
It's
bad
like
as TalkSport.
TalkSport and BBC, isn't it? Like 5 Live.
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem with BBC. They're not as bad as
No,
TalkSport are,
no.
but TalkSport especially, they're the problem for me.
Their reputation is on drama.
Literally, yeah.
They
Yeah.
live off drama.
Like you see the radio show that goes on between.
Which is,
Is it Alan Brazil?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just all about drama.
which is ironic because that's what they've said AFTV prey on.
What, Alan Brazil's Sports Breakfast?
No. AFTV prey on the drama of losing.
Oh right.
Not Alan Brazil. Poor Alan Brazil has not been preyed on by
I
anyone.
don't like Alan
Well,
Brazil. So.
Will's put, isn't it a win-win for people like DT, Claude, Troops, etc.? Win and they are happy. Lose, but they get loads of views on their rants and therefore more
no,
money.
because at the end,
No,
of, the, at
'cause
the end of the day, nobody wants their team to
And-
lose.
And I don't think they get the money
and
anyway.
two,
Got
do they?
Robert-
DT on
Robert-
side of your headphones.
So,
Oh
hang on,
yeah,
what?
no.
Says DT on side of your headphones.
Yeah, it does.
Does it?
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
But yeah, Robbie has already said that he doesn't give any of them money to come on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you said yourself, Kieran, they've got their own channels.
Yeah, exactly.
So they
I don't
make
think.
the money
Do you know
from
what?
there.
I genuinely don't think it is a win-win. I think they would be much happier not ranting at all.
Yeah, exactly.
They are, at the end of the day, people sit there and say, I hate DT, I hate Troops, but they are Arsenal fans.
They're a voice
Robbie
for the
is
community.
an Arsenal fan. They sat there yesterday, and I honestly, it angered me to a sense. It really angered me that Simon Jordan said to Robbie, well, you're a reported Arsenal fan. He said reported. And Robbie went, whoa, let me stop you for a second. I am an Arsenal fan. I'm not a reported. You know, I follow this club day in, day out. I spend
everywhere.
the hard-earned money. I'd go, for example, when they go to Belgium to play Standard Liège, I go to Belgium to cover these matches.
He went to Baku.
He went to Baku. I was about to say,
exactly.
He went to Baku.
And it really annoys me because
And
that debate yesterday was purposely set up, in my opinion, to mock Arsenal Fan TV.
Yep.
It wasn't made to be a nice, light-hearted debate. They brought Robbie in with the intention of dragging AFTV down.
Definitely.
But then, if he rejects the interview, they go,
It looks worse.
well, look, yeah, exactly. So, again, you talk about win-wins. That was a lose-lose.
Fair play to Robbie, though, for going and, like...
No,
As
good
a
on
lot
him.
of people have given him respect because of what he did, and Simon John's just a dinosaur. I agree with what he said.
I thought he was going to say something much worse.
Well,
good job with
I'm
dinosaur.
just going to quickly
He's a
find the
dinosaur.
tweets
Yeah,
that
we'll keep with that.
Simon Jordan put out not long after the whole debate was done. He put, not my finest debate. Trying to get a word in with this guy was a tad irritating. Fans should have a voice in this representation. It's all about abuse, being decisive and toxic. Where's the benefit in that? Oh, of course in the business model of Arsenal Fan TV. Which DT then replied, why don't you take a look through the comments and then you'll see what people really think. If you actually had a pair of balls, you would come out of your comfy studio with all your mates behind you and have this debate properly, but on AFTV's channel in their studio.
He wouldn't do that, though.
No,
Which he would never do that.
Exactly.
And I
Like
think
he
that's,
says, he doesn't have the balls to do it.
exactly. And I think that's a great way to end the debate. That was really, really good, guys.
Yeah, I let's be fair. Clean sweep. Our
Yes.
our fan channel's a hindrance.
No.
No.
There we go.
And that's the perfect answer. We are running quite long on time. We're already an hour and a half in. So in the case of the weekly roundup, we'll try and get through this as
Are we
quick
doing
as
the
we can.
predictions again?
We'll do the predictions
I'm
Yeah, 'cause
2-0
you're
up, by the
2-0
way.
up.
because it's 2-0 up. Because
Do you know what? Has anyone got?
Glory, Man United.
he's got
That's
a pen.
what I've got
Right,
to say.
perfect. If you want to write,
Let me. This isn't mine. By
I
the
think it's I got the Man United squads right. I didn't check.
Perfect.
Right.
so usually the weekly roundup will be a little bit longer, but we've had a really, really good debate, so
Just
it's going to
skip
be a
through
little
it.
bit shorter than usual, so we can get in the finale feature,
Oh, well, this
which is a quiz from Rowan, who's not
Well,
here.
Gonna have to. I was going to put the first letter of all our names. I realise we've got the same bloody name, haven't we?
I mean, I've got a second name.
No, that's what I've had to change to. I was trying to cut some effort out here.
Right then. So without further ado, I'll go through the notes. I'll ask for your quick reaction of what you think the score is going to be, and we'll have our predictions noted down by Kieran. I'll just let Kieran.
yes.
No, you talk away.
All right, we'll go straight on to the first one, I think, which is the
I
Premier
can
League game.
talk if you want me to.
Yeah, go on then. It's Arsenal versus Man City. For Lumber's Arsenal, they finally found winning ways once with a win against a 3-1 victory against West Ham. For Manchester City, Pep's side have only won 2 of their last 5 games with dropped points coming to Newcastle and Manchester United most recently. The away side desperately need a win to try and claw back the 14-point gap between themselves and Liverpool, but victory for Arsenal could boost their morale and actually get the club back into the top 6. Quick thoughts. What do you think this game's going to be like?
Manchester City will dominate this game.
Do you think so?
Yes.
I disagree.
I
I'll be honest. People who know me, for example, in the past, unknowingly, I've always had blind faith in Arsenal.
Oh,
Always. Like last season, I said they were going to get top 4. They almost did, but again, that was proven wrong. This season, I said they'd be close to top 4. They're nowhere bloody near it.
I mean, they're not that far.
they're not far off.
Only
Well,
2
not
points
now.
behind Man United.
Not now because Chelsea have slipped off, but yeah. So I've always had blind faith in Arsenal, and yet again, I've got blind faith again.
I think it's just because you hate Man City.
Well, no, because I also had Arsenal to beat Norwich, and they didn't do that neither. So
This is the type of game Arsenal will put everything on the line
I still think they'll get
and
beat.
go all out.
I
But
still
we
think they'll
say
get
that,
beat.
but they lost to a Liverpool team that were trying to lose.
They did. And on penalties. How can you lose on penalties to a team that's trying to lose?
But that was in the Carabao Cup. This is Premier League. It's a different
Mm,
competition.
It's
Well,
the same
no,
mentality.
Because if we brought up Arsenal v Liverpool in the Premier League, it's not a very good viewing.
No, it's
Because
not.
Arsenal
It's
get
not,
dispatched.
but look at the comparison of the teams that were playing in the
look-
Carabao Cup.
Just
This is the type of match where Arsenal would have come from, for example, they've had these 2-2 draws against Southampton, and they'll just bizarrely start playing good, and Arsenal fans will go, well, where's this form come from?
No, they won't.
They will.
They will.
This will be a tight game.
Yes,
Manchester
no, I
City
agree,
I
I
think Man
agree.
City will run away
will
with it.
not run away with it.
Yeah,
I think
but-
they will.
I will put my hand.
This is
touch
like
wood.
a
They will
lot-
not run away
A lot
with
of
it.
people said they'd run away against you at home, and we all sat here on the podcast last week and said it'll be a tight game.
I feel like
When they played Newcastle, did
there's
you think Newcastle would get a draw?
this season? There's a question about that though. About
Yes
Man
or
City.
no?
No, but it's like Kyle Walker came
He's
out.
not
and said-
answering the question.
Just let
Well,
me. Just
the-
give me a second.
to be
Let
fair-
me just say my point.
Go on then.
Kyle Walker even came out and said after Manchester Derby, he said he can't tell what's wrong. So much changed, and to me, so much has changed this season, especially with Liverpool and Manchester City.
Yeah, it has.
Defensively,
Laporte's
Don't-
got injured and they can't handle it. No, I'm not joking. Laporte's
But
got injured and they can't handle it.
I think that Manchester City will run away with this game because I watched Arsenal the other night and for 20 minutes they were good.
Will's put in the comments, he's put City's defence is about as useful as a chocolate fire guard.
I was going to say chocolate teapot, but you took me joke.
Oh.
It's fine. Don't worry about it, Will.
It's just, there's something that tells me, I don't know why, it's the spirits in my head that they're saying that Arsenal will just come out.
I mean,
And
it's an
give 'em a game.
opinion-based show.
All right,
I
it is-
think that
it
Man
all right,
is-
City will
Clinton
win.
Baptiste over there.
Spirits are strong tonight.
I think that Man City will win 3-0. I'm going to say
So,
3-0. Right.
3-0 prediction?
I'll get the pen out.
3-0.
3-0, let's write that one down.
Nil.
Who do you think's going to score? Do you think Gabriel Jesus
We're
will?
not going that bloody
Mahrez.
good,
No,
are we?
Gabriel Jesus is not good. Don't rate him at all.
Really?
He was awful last week. I'd
Wow.
never rated him. He looks like a big baby on pitch. Have you seen him?
He was good at Burnley. Good
At
at Burnley.
Burnley.
He was good against Burnley.
There's Sean Dyche. He scored 100 goals this season.
No, I'll go. Do we have to do scorers or are you just
No.
asking?
No,
No, he's
I'm
just
just
asking.
asking on that one.
Mahrez.
Stall 3.
No, Mahrez and
I'm going to
Rodri. I don't know.
Manchester City. I still think City are going to win, but it'll be tight. City 2-1.
I'm going to go blind faith 2-2.
2-2. Wow.
I mean, if Man City don't win this game, then they've got.
At least
they're definitely out.
We've all gone for different predictions here. I mean, if Rowan, you are here in the chat, if you want, put down your prediction and we'll note it down.
We will.
But
But the
Could have told me this
next.
beforehand. I've got to add a load of R's here.
Oh God. The next prediction is Fiorentina versus Inter Milan. Vincenzo Montella and his Fiorentina side are seriously struggling in Serie A. Without winning their last 5, including 4 losses to Hellas Verona and Lecce, the club sits 13th in the league with European aspirations long gone. With 4 losses in the last 5, it could get much worse when they face Inter Milan on Sunday evening. After their Champions League disappointment versus Barcelona, Conte's side will want to get back to winning ways, and this could be the perfect opportunity to claim 3 points. Romelu Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez collectively have scored 18 league goals this season, forming an incredible partnership.
Love Lautaro Martinez. What a
really?
player.
I didn't know.
What a player.
What are we thinking for this one?
1-0 Inter Milan.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Are you locking that in?
I am.
He's locking it in.
0-1.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Wow.
Ooh.
Double draw.
Ooh,
Because I think the confidence of losing to Barcelona, or the lack of confidence
The
after losing.
Barcelona children.
That's the thing. We were talking about this yesterday. We said, if I was Dortmund, I'd feel really bloody peed off that they've played their under-23s. Because if Inter would have won, Dortmund would have been out.
They
Yeah.
played really well though. Did Carlos Perez and Ansu Fati? They played really
Hey,
well.
that's the thing, and you know what? We said yesterday they've probably got some really good under-23s, but I didn't know they could beat Inter Milan.
no.
I mean, they weren't all in the 23s. They were just-
I'm
Oh, and
a
Rakitic.
few. No, Vidal played as well.
going to guess 3-1 Inter Milan,
A big bounce back.
and I think
for-
Montella will get sacked after that.
And
Honestly.
then we'll speak
not
about
another
it.
one.
And then we'll speak
That'll
about
be
the
us
podcast
next week. Montella getting sacked.
Manuel Pellegrini.
Yeah, actually, I think Pellegrini's going to go soon. To be honest, I think he's not doing too
Who else
good.
is
Is he?
Who
at
else is
West
in
Ham?
the quote unquote sack race?
Ole Gunnar's no.
No.
Really? Would you have to? Who's your manager? Grant McCann.
Don't start.
The next game.
If this table weren't here, I'd absolutely have you after that comment.
The next game is in the Bundesliga. It's Wolfsburg versus Gladbach.
I hate
Ninth
Wolfsburg.
placed Wolfsburg face the front runners of the Bundesliga. With only 1 win in their last 5 games, Wolfsburg are struggling and could further fall down the table with a loss, while Gladbach must win to keep the pressure on RB Leipzig, who face Dusseldorf this weekend. Gladbach are the first side in the league to reach double figures for wins, but they could face a tricky challenge on their hands against a side with the best defensive record in the league. Wolfsburg have only conceded 14 goals despite being 9th placed.
So they must struggle to score goals, which means
15 goals scored, 14 conceded.
and all of them have been by Weghorst.
I don't-
So
pretty much.
Something happened this week. I'm not a massive fan of Wolfsburg now, so
They sacked you.
they sacked me on Football Manager.
Oh, it's tough times.
They sacked me. I went to Arsenal though, so
Is that why Arsenal are going to get beat off Man City because you're in charge?
Banter Club FC.
But anyway, go on. This is the game I'm most excited for because I'm becoming a Mönchengladbach
I mean,
fan.
This is
if
a big
Wolfsburg
game.
don't score and concede many, I'll go for 0-0.
Oh, brilliant!
And you're looking forward to this 0-0 draw, Kieran.
No, I'm thrilled for it to be honest.
Kieran L, what are you thinking the score's going to be?
1-2.
Oh,
1-2.
Yeah, Gladbach
3,
are,
4.
Gladbach are away, so
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not gonna say 2.
I mean, I've got it in front of me.
It's all right. Yeah.
um,
For all of you not looking at our sheet of paper.
1-0 Gladbach.
Nice.
I think it'll be a tight one.
No, it sounds
I bet.
like it, considering.
I was very surprised when I read that they got the best defensive record in the league. I was like, how are you ninth? They honestly, they've just been barely been scoring
Well,
goals.
they
They've-
weren't
they've
very
relied on
defensive on
Weghorst.
Football Manager. Yeah, just say that.
Wout Weghorst.
They've honestly been relying on
Big
Weghorst.
Vegas, what a man.
The next game is in La Liga. I think this is one of the major games of the weekend. Valencia versus Real Madrid. The last time both sides faced off, Valencia did beat Real Madrid 2-1 with goals from Gonçalo Guedes and Garay. This time, Valencia find themselves in 8th place, but they're only 1 point from the top 4. Real Madrid are in 2nd and need the win to keep up the pace with Barcelona, as both sides have 34 points. Valencia have only lost 1 of their last 5 matches, while Real Madrid haven't lost a game in La Liga since October, which was against Mallorca. Rodrigo is the top assister in La Liga with 6 assists, while Benzema could continue his credible run of form after scoring in 4 of his last 5 games.
The interesting point here is to say that Valencia are coming off maybe the biggest night in their recent club's history
I was so shocked Ajax
by beating
are out.
Ajax away.
Is it 1-0?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rodrigo, as who we've just mentioned,
I had Ajax to win.
absolutely incredible. And how confident will they be going into this?
It's just a shame they've got to play Real, in a certain sense, isn't it?
Yeah, but Real, as much as we say they haven't lost since October, that was against bloody Mallorca.
Yeah,
Was it
Like-
1-0?
was 1-0 indeed.
I mean, I personally, I'm gonna race out the gates here. 2-0 to Valencia.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going for a Valencia win as well. 2-1.
Oh, you're all up in that bandwagon now. You didn't fancy it at first, but Kieran mentions it. You're all
Yeah, I did mention it, you're right.
Do you know what my worry is? I've realised so far I've gone for all the away sides.
Don't go for the home team, Josh. Don't be boring.
3-2 Real Madrid.
Oh,
He's gone out there.
Thanks.
I'm going for a goal fest.
So when it's 0-0, we're all looking like...
And there's me
idiots.
looking stupid.
It's all right.
Yeah.
You've already predicted a 0-0, you fun human being.
Well, if a game's going to be 0-0, it might as well be that one that I'm not going to watch.
Well, it was last week when I went 5-3, 4-3, 4-4.
I mean, you
That
were
was
close,
Rome, wasn't it?
close
Yeah.
with Liverpool and Everton.
The last game, I've picked a different game in Liga. And usually, you'd probably expect to go for a Paris Saint-Germain type game because usually, PSG dominate. I picked Olympique Lyon versus Stade Rennais. Right. Reason why I picked this one, obviously, last night, Lyon did produce an incredible comeback in the Champions League to make it to the knockout
They did.
stages.
Well done to them as well.
They found themselves 7th in Ligue 1 with 25 points. High-flying Stade Rennais are in 4th and could move into the top 3 with a win. Ligue 1 is so tight that Lyon could actually overtake Stade Rennais and move into the top 3 themselves, dependent on other results. Moussa Dembele and Memphis Depay have both collectively scored 19 goals in Ligue 1 this season, and morale, of course, will be high after that midweek game versus Leipzig. Stade Rennais have won their last 4 games.
I love Memphis Depay.
This is a tricky one.
3-1.
I like your pronunciation of Stade Rennais.
Stade Rennais.
Stade Rennais.
Stade Rennais. We love pronunciation around here.
3-1 Lyon.
Really?
I was going to go 3-0 Lyon.
3-1. Ligue 1.
I think because it's so... Oh, sorry, carry on.
2-0 Lyon.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll go for the home side
I was
this
going to
time.
say, even though it's so tight in that league, I just don't see...
So it's, if Lyon
I was really surprised to see Stade Rennais up there, to be honest.
Is that who?
Stade Rennais.
Who are they?
Stade Rennais.
They a new team?
They are indeed.
Oh.
Stade Rennais. So we've got all our predictions down. In next week's episode, the start of it, we'll go through and see who gets the right amount of points.
I'm 2-0, by the way.
Yeah.
Rowan, I don't think's here, so he doesn't get
He doesn't get a vote.
he doesn't get a vote now. He's too late. But we're now going to move on to the final section of the podcast.
That's not true.
Why?
Quiz and Team of the Week reveal. Come
Well-
on.
Well, it is the last major section. I'm getting onto the quiz.
Okay.
I mean, we've
It's-
got 6 minutes till the
He's
team of
ruined
the
my
week.
vibe.
He has. He's just, well done.
Let's go into the quiz, of course, as always. Rowan, who is fortunately not here with us today. Minute silence. Nah,
Nah.
no,
Get
no,
well-
no.
Just
we'll
get well
pass
soon.
that. Get well soon. He should be back next week for the last podcast.
Should be
We'll
on
go through
Monday.
the schedule at the end. Oh yeah, he should actually.
Should be back
Hopefully,
on Monday.
fingers
We're all
crossed
here on Monday.
for the Champions League draw. He's given us a
I'm going to admit, yeah.
quick
Yeah.
little quiz. Can I
Yeah.
borrow the pen if that's all right?
No.
No. Oh well, that's it. No quiz today then.
Well, that we're done.
Right. So I'm going to put down here, and there we go. Right. There are a couple of questions Rowan has sent in. The way I'm going to do it is is first come first served.
Can
in
he
terms
see
of
the Can he see
answers.
the answers?
I can't.
He can't. It's on my
There's a
phone.
microphone in the way.
It's on my phone anyway.
Oh no, then.
Right. So the first round is about top scorers. Rowan
Again?
has asked.
we do
can
this every week.
He's given a team. Can you name the top scorer of all time for the club?
Oh,
As I said,
bloody
First
hell.
come, first served. Whoever
Bloody
gets
hell.
it right first gets the first point of the
Right.
game. Club number 1, Manchester City.
Sergio Aguero.
Correct answer. You're on the
Oh,
board.
do you know what I'm there in my head thinking? They don't have anyone that were there.
Ben
Jimmy
Jan.
Dean to lead with 1.
Valerie Bodjanov.
The second club, Manchester United.
Wayne Rooney.
2 points on the board.
That's his fucking club.
Got to be quicker.
Sorry,
Third club,
just swore. Apologies, profanity. My apologies.
for any kids that are listening.
My apologies.
Sincerely apologise for the language
We
there.
apologise for that, Will.
I did put that on suitable for kids. So I might go down
He's
well.
going to be on YouTube Red.
That's
no,
it.
YouTube Kids.
Going to
Sorry.
be taken down now. Question number 3 for the club. Liverpool.
Fernando Torres.
Wrong answer.
Kenny Dalglish.
Wrong answer.
Ian Rush.
Correct answer. 3-0 to the good. Come on, Kieran L. You need to get back in this. Next club. Chelsea.
Frank Lampard.
Correct answer.
Do you want
Absolutely
to have a
flying
go? Do you want
away
me
with
to
it.
let
Are
you have the
you sure?
next one?
Barcelona.
Lionel Messi.
Correct answer. You've been absolutely slaughtered here. Real Madrid.
Raul.
No.
Ronaldo.
Yes, you're on the board. Kieran L. is on the
Yes!
board. It's
Yes.
5-1. He's going to claw it back.
I was
The
going
most-
to say Benzema. But
This
no.
is going to be an unbelievable comeback here. The final one in terms of round 1 for clubs. Newcastle United.
Shearer.
Alan Shearer. That was
You
Kieran.
got that
was
first.
Kieran,
5-2.
5-2.
Extra bonus point here.
He's
Rowan's put. Can you name
no.
second-
It actually is 5-2, by the way.
the second top goal scorer for Newcastle? Whoever gets this gets a bonus
Kevin
point.
Nolan.
Incorrect.
The second top.
The second top goal
Oh,
scorer.
I actually think I might know his.
Michael Owen.
Incorrect. I'll
Andy
give you.
Cole.
I'll give you 3 guesses each.
Andy Cole.
Incorrect. Good guess.
Jose Perez.
Incorrect.
Oh, I don't know.
Second top goal scorer. Who's been at
Obafemi Martins.
It's a great guess, but it's not
no.
right.
I was going to say, who's been good at Newcastle?
This is
Nobody.
it. This is the last
Nobody's
guess.
been good at Newcastle. Oh, I've got. I know. I'm gonna guess.
Demba Ba.
Incorrect.
Andy Carroll.
Incorrect. Do you know who it is?
Go on.
Shola Ramiobi.
Yeah.
No way.
what
He's
a
the
player.
Newcastle's second top goal scorer.
I mean, you were there
Unbelievable.
all his fuck-
So the scores on the
all
doors.
bloody
Round
life.
1. Kieran D leads with 5. Kieran L's got 2.
Let's go, boys.
You need to claw it back. Right. Round number 2. Who has the most clean sheets this season so far in the Premier League?
Liverpool.
We're talking goalkeeper.
Kasper
Oh.
Schmeichel.
Is the correct answer.
I thought it was Dean Henderson.
5-3.
Well,
Would have been a good guess.
That was no. Just saying that wasn't clear that it was goalkeeper.
He didn't put that. He just
That,
put
that
the most
isn't
clean
clear.
sheets.
Rowan, that's going against you. That.
Right. Question number 3. Who has the most offsides in the Premier League this season?
Player or team?
Player.
Daniel James.
Incorrect.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Nicolas Pepe.
Incorrect. I'll give you 3 guesses once again.
And
Marcus
then can we
Rashford.
have a clue after that? Because I feel
Incorrect.
we could get it. Aubameyang.
Incorrect.
Tammy Abraham.
Incorrect.
Vardy.
Incorrect. First come, first served. Burnley.
Chris Wood.
Correct.
Oh yes.
Chris Wood.
Chris Wood
What's
has the
he
most
even
offsides in the
offside?
Premier League.
He don't run in behind.
It's an over-the-top through ball, actually.
He don't run.
Right, question number 4. It's another round. It's quite interesting, this one. Name these football teams from the anagrams. So,
Oh,
an
right.
example, Holt Methodical.
That's not.
Hamilton Academical.
No.
That's really hard.
If you
because-
can't see the letters.
Exactly.
Do you want me to say the letters out loud?
No.
If I had a pen, it'd be much easier.
Shall I leave that one?
No, because I do want to do it, but I just want to see.
Right, I'll start with the first one.
Go on.
Tickets Yo. Tickets Yo.
By the way, just a quick question: is it some like? Do you know, like for example, Manchester City? Would it be Manchester Like, do you know what I mean? Does it have both sections?
Yes.
Has it got all the letters in it, by
It's
the
got
way?
all the letters in it.
Right. Tickets yo.
Tickets yo. It's TICKETSYO.
Oh my god, this is really hard.
It is. It's very hard.
We could be here all day for
I'm
this
thinking of teams with Y in the name.
Yeah, it's not Yeovil, sadly. Tickets yo. Do you know what? The only thing is, I like this sort of game, but I'm really struggling.
You've got... I'm going to give you 50 seconds
Oh, you can't give
on
us
the
a,
clock.
You can't give us a time.
I'm giving you
limit.
time restraints. 50 seconds.
You talk amongst yourselves, lads.
You can just fire away guesses for this
I
one.
would if I wasn't trying to figure it
Tickets
out.
yo.
I know how to say tickets, yo.
TICKETSYO. Tickets yo
Stoke City.
is the correct answer.
Get in!
No, that
Stoke
literally just came
City.
into my
Get
head.
in!
That literally just came into
What's
my
the
head.
first anagram? Tickets
Come
yo.
on, that's well good.
The
I think you might
second
beat
one.
me here.
I love this game.
Rod Waft. This is ROD
Watford.
WAFT. Watford is the correct answer.
Come on.
I'm gonna get pegged
It's
back here.
5-6. Kieran D, you're still in the lead, but you need to bring it back. Come on, Kieran L. He's nearly there.
What a game.
Third one. Chain Late Twig. CHAINLATE
Wigan
T-
Athletic.
is the correct answer.
Come
It's
on.
6-6. Kieran L has clawed it back.
Can't even think.
Unbelievable. The next
How
one.
many have we got left?
There's two more.
Oh, bloody hell.
Hoop
2 behind.
Hoop Mutants. This is HOOPMUTANTS. Hoop Mutants.
That's a really tough one.
What?
Hoop Mutants.
You've got 55 seconds
I don't know.
on the clock.
Honestly, don't know.
Oh, do you know what my original one was?
Hoop what?
Hoop Mutants is HOOPMUTANTS.
My original one was going to be Portsmouth, but it's not Portsmouth.
Rowan is in the chat, by the
Is
way.
it 2 separate words or is it one?
It's the club's name is as one. It's not something like a City or a blank United.
Sorry, could you just repeat the letters for me, Josh?
It's Hoop Mutants. HOOPMUTANTS. You've got 20 seconds.
After this, can we have the league just to...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact,
please.
how about I give you the league now?
Yeah.
Premier League
What? What? Tottenham.
is the incorrect answer. Good guess.
It's gonna be
Southampton.
It's the correct answer. It is Southampton.
There's gonna be a lot of dead air.
And just
Get
like
in.
that, Kieran L takes the lead.
Get
He's
in.
clawed it back. The final one. Chimney Urban. CHIMNEYURBAN.
Are we having the
Birmingham
league?
City.
Are we having the league?
Birmingham City.
It's right. isn't it?
Bundesliga.
Oh. What was it again?
CHIMNEY
Bayern Munich.
is the correct answer. Kieran D gets one back. It's the scores on
Come
the
on.
doors. Kieran L's got 7. Kieran D's got 6. You've clawed
Ooh.
it back.
It's a
We
big
go on to
game.
the next round.
I was 5-2 up in first round.
There's 2 questions left. So basically, if Kieran L gets this one right,
You win.
it's
Yeah.
game over.
Oh, not another dramatic tiebreak.
This is the 10th one.
Not having that again.
Is it Ghent by any chance?
3 clubs, 1 manager.
All right, yeah. I love
Who
this
is the
game.
manager?
Right, okay.
Bournemouth, Stoke,
Nathan Jones.
incorrect.
Oh, why did I just? Why did
West
I not
Brom,
wait?
first come, first served.
Tony Pulis.
That's right.
Is the correct answer. Kieran
He's
L
won.
wins the quiz.
I mean,
Right,
let's
but
still do
we'll
the last
keep
question.
going.
Let's go on.
We'll keep going.
Why can't
3
win when there's no
clubs.
certificate?
What player has played for these 3 clubs? Oldham Athletic,
Oh, for God's sake.
Gillingham
James Tarkowski.
is the wrong answer. Hull City.
Oh, I know who it is.
Oldham Athletic, Gillingham and Hull City
Tom Eaves.
is the correct
Yeah,
answer.
I knew
it
it
is
was.
indeed Tom
The
Eaves.
moment he said Gillingham and Hull, I went, I know who that is. Tom
and the
Eaves.
final one, 3 clubs. Who's he played for? Inter Milan, Espanyol,
Mhm.
Bayern Munich
Perisic.
is the wrong answer.
Oh, that's unlucky.
So he still plays for Bayern Munich
Still
now.
in place. Still plays for Bayern Munich now. I am just going to check to make sure this is right.
What, the team of the week?
No, just to make sure.
Just seen you at Team at Week on the screen. Right, I'm not looking. Oh, actually, no, I am looking. Yes! Can we just pause the quiz for a minute? Wan-Bissaka has got an inform.
Inter Milan,
Right.
Espanyol, Bayern Munich.
Espanyol and Bayern Munich.
You have got 30 seconds on the clock starting from now.
That's
Is he-
Really
no, it's not.
hard.
He plays at Bayern Munich now.
Is it Alphonso Davies?
No.
Not right. Good guess.
He came from bloody...
I don't know where he came from, that's why.
He came from Seattle, not Seattle Sound, Toronto Whitecaps.
Time is running
I
out.
think.
You've got 20 seconds left.
Or maybe it was Colorado Rapids.
15.
God, it's really hard.
It is hard, this.
10 seconds. Fire away with your guesses.
Thiago Alcantara.
Incorrect.
Quisson.
Incorrect. 5,
Coleman.
4. Incorrect. 3,
Muller.
2.
Lewandowski.
Incorrect. 1.
Wayne Rooney.
Incorrect. Do you know what the answer was?
No.
Philippe Coutinho.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, no.
He had a
yeah,
loan
yeah.
spell at Espanyol, and of
No, I
course he
remember
came
he's
from
in
Inter
Milan,
Milan
yeah.
to Liverpool.
It's a good
Lewandowski's all
So
known run at
the scores
Espanyol.
on the doors. It means in an incredible
Is that game
comeback, Kieran L wins the game. Incredible,
Yes.
well done. Unfortunately,
Come on.
there's no certificate this week.
No.
The
'cause
week that
we haven't got one.
Rowan,
but,
I expect one when you come back.
there'll be something a little bit different next week. But if you want to go through
will be
the
different.
team of the week,
Oh.
you're more than welcome to.
I love it. I'm
It's,
loving it this week.
It's quite good, and then
It
I'll go
is
through the
looking good.
schedule, and then we will be finished.
It's looking good.
Oh,
The
it's
week
looking
where
amazing.
I tried the least.
The
Oh.
same.
Tell
But
you what,
Like,
if I can get
look
that on
at
the screen for everybody.
Look at that.
Give me 2 seconds, guys. If we're going to do Team of the Week corner, let's do it right.
Loving that right back right now.
Right. Do you want me to go through it, or are you getting it up on screen?
He's getting it up.
I'm going to
and
get
then
it
you
up
can
on
go
the
through
screen,
it.
but if you want, you can start going through it. There you
I
go.
can.
We're on.
We've got Martin Dubravka, Rafael Varane, Hinteregger, Wan-Bissaka,
Yes.
Mane. Oh, okay, Mane, Luis Alberto, Aranguiz, Zhao Quinn, Morgan Sanson, Royce, Depay, Seppi, is that Maripan?
Maripan,
Ansaldi,
Left mid.
Mateus Pereira, Vardy, Stuani, Podolski, Batocchio, Sierra, Vinicius, Adam Lafondra, Josh Madger, no Jared Bowen.
Oh, I just said
Again.
that. I just
He
said that.
scored
becoming a
a
weekly
brace
thing.
again, and he doesn't get in. Never bloody
Adam
does.
Lafondra got a hat trick.
Yeah, well, Jared Bowen doesn't do hat tricks.
Interestingly, no Fraser Forster,
No, actually, but then again, it was a cup game.
but he would have got a hero card.
True. So that is Team of the
Yeah.
Week corner.
That looks really good.
It looks pretty all right, to be fair, from what we expected. So to give you an idea of what's to come over the next week or so,
Has he got his schedule up again?
He
we do.
has.
We
He
have.
has.
He
He's
loves
got it
it.
up.
we've
He's
had the
got it up.
podcast today.
Some people say we
which is
don't
really
come
good.
prepared.
We come extra prepared around
Yeah.
here. On the 16th of December, you can join us live in the morning for the Champions and Europa League draw. You can join all of
We
us
will
four.
all be
Hopefully,
here.
Rowan will be back.
Yep.
Fingers crossed for him. And we'll be able to find out where you are, Kieran D, in the Europa League. Are you ready for that? Are you excited?
Oh yes, I want Inter Milan.
And for us two, we can. Well, for us three, we can sit back and find out what the other teams
yeah,
get.
I was
But
gonna
that
say,
is,
it means nothing to me.
No, it's 10:30, while 1 p.m. we'll be live on YouTube and Periscope for that. And then we'll have a podcast on the 18th of December. It's a little bit different to what we usually do because we're going to have the big fat Christmas quiz. I'm going to run it. And
So you're
I'm
going
not
to run
gonna
it
lie.
this time.
I'm going to be running
he's
it.
Gonna run it.
I've got some pretty interesting questions I've got.
Ooh.
There's going to be some
I'm
tricky
looking forward
ones.
to this.
That will be a
Based on the
big
year
Christmas
as well,
quiz.
so it is relevant.
Yeah.
Ooh. Is it based on 2019?
It's based on 2019 in
We
general.
love to see
I'm
it.
not going to give any clues away, but that's going to be the podcast 1:15 while 3:15 on the 18th of December. But in the meantime, thank you very much, guys, for joining me. It's been really, really good today.
Thank you very
Really,
much.
you
really
very
enjoyed
much.
it.
Thank you, Josh, for putting on another great podcast.
Thank
Thank
you to
you very
everyone
much.
that commented.
And thank you. Yeah, there's been a lot of comments today. We really do appreciate it, and a lot of people that have viewed. So we will be back on the 16th of December for the Champions League and Europa League draw. But in the meantime, thanks for joining us. We'll see you later.
See
Goodbye.
you Monday.
See you later.